Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Hollywood After Dark, episode number 30. Today, of course, is the 21st of July, 2021, and it's been a day. It's been a massive, massive, massive day in Hollywood. New casting of Batgirl, and that whole thing is crazy. You got The Rock and Vin Diesel going back at it again, and of course, Zack Snyder has officially signed with Netflix, further indicating that the Snyderverse is unfortunately over there at Warner Brothers. But let's talk about that and more tonight here on Hollywood After Dark. Howdy, everyone. How you guys doing? Hope everyone is doing well this evening. I know I'm a little bit early tonight. The reason why is I do have a guest joining me here very soon. Ty from Pop Culture Corner is going to be coming on by. Earlier tonight, I was over on his channel talking with actor Charlie Talbert. If you don't know who Charlie Talbert is, he was the main actor, the main character in the 1995 coming-of-age fat kid story, Angus, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's one that I loved as a kid. Getting to sit there and talk with him tonight, albeit very briefly, because I was a little late to the party. It was still pretty cool. Hopefully, I'll be able to connect with him again and get him to come on Hollywood After Dark for a lot more in-depth conversation about the industry and his career. But also, Ty did a fantastic job in the conversation. And so he said he was going to be cruising over here tonight. We're going to have to wait and see when he pops up, but it's going to be all good. In the meantime, let me just give a quick shout out here to my lovely channel members. You guys are fantastic. People like HWAD and Otis and Javi and Saggy and Anthony and the Gaming Godfather, Simon, William, Mr. Nobot Command Unit, Vince Bachelor, my own father, Dave, Gerald Johnson, Rel, good old Rel, badass Rel. You got Dave, the Power Bunny, Aaron Entertainment. Lovely day today in my channel. You guys are fantastic. You guys keep the lights on, and I appreciate that immensely. That being said, for any super chat or channel membership this month, you guys get into the raffle to get your hands on this Life magazine, real physical copy, 40 years Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's a good read, mailing right to your door. Unfortunately, US only though, because otherwise it's still pretty effing expensive. Let me just take a quick look here at the chat, check in with everyone. All right, HBart's here with a $2 super chat, says starting the same time as Enosh. Hell, man, I saw that he just went live. I had no idea. Usually he would post that information in a DM group we're in. He didn't do it, and that's okay. He hasn't been live the last couple of days. That's okay too. So I see that he's live. Hopefully he has a good stream. Hopefully we have a good stream here. It's all good. And if you've missed one, there's always going to be a VOD to come back and check out later on. So that is, of course, how it is going to be. Now we're going to be, again, talking tonight about the situation involving Snyder is going to be pretty interesting. Andrew here does say it ain't over until Zack officially says something. But Zack has said that he will never say no to a paying customer. So expect him to never, ever really say that. But we have the article that we're going to be looking at when Ty gets here. And I want to go through a couple other news pieces, but then again, I want to wait for him to get here so we can quickly go over those. But today was actually a pretty interesting day for trailers. We did get the trailer for the Nightmare of the Wolf, the Witcher anime series or anime movie that is coming to Netflix next month. It looks pretty fantastic. There was also the Masters of the Universe first reviews came out today, generally overwhelmingly positive. Some things do seem to, I would say, confirm some of the leaks that came out about, I think, 2 years ago concerning the show. And so some people out there are still trying to call it like Masters of the Wokeverse or whatever the hell it might be. But as I like to say, you got to look at the full season. This is only the first 5 episodes. This is not the full season. And if it does end up being the way it is, I will definitely give Kevin a little bit of crap because he did mislead people. And that if that's the case, then that's going to be something that needs to be talked about. But in the meantime, he's going to be off shooting Clerks 3 here very soon. And I'm pretty sure once Masters of the Universe is out there, he'll be happy to move on back to his core passion, which is the Viewisk universe, which is my favorite universe that Kevin Smith is involved in. That being said, I think it's going to be all good across the board. Lord Slug here says, stealing his thunder, Jarbo. I'm not stealing anyone's thunder. I'm not stealing anyone's thunder. I don't steal anyone's thunder. I do my own thing. But yeah, I'm really going back to the Masters of the Universe thing, because Laura Slicker does ask about that. It's definitely one of those things where you go, all right, I want to see it. It's tomorrow night. It's midnight. I'll probably end up watching a couple episodes before going to bed tomorrow night after doing the show. Since there's no Loki on Wednesday, well, there's Bad Batch, so I'll probably end up doing Masters of the Universe tomorrow night. I did email Netflix for a review code, but it's a little late in the game for that, so I might just watch them all and then go from there. But I do want to talk about them. I do want to talk about the episodes as they come out. Again, I grew up watching the show, but I don't really remember all of it. I don't really remember the core storyline. And what people have to remember about Masters of the Universe is they don't have the specific rights to the original show. So they're not able to do they're not able to do a direct continuation. This is more of a inspired by sort of thing. It's going to continue the story, but elements are going to change. And a lot of that's probably going to end up being for copyright reasons and intellectual property rights reasons. And of course, one of the producers on the show, I think is a guy who does the Netflix. He's like one of the executives who handles all the anime at Netflix. He has said on a Facebook group that, he wanted to have representation, like with King Grayskull being black and another character, I think, being race swapped. He wanted there to be more representation. And I'm fine with that. I have no real issue with that. I like representation. I think it absolutely matters. People like Kevin Smith, who are trying to protect the integrity of the show and just want people to see it. So that, of course, is definitely a problem. When, he said some things that we don't fully know if they're true or not true yet. But because right now it's like a half truth, it comes across as if he's lying, and people out there are going to be believing that, unfortunately. But wow, a couple of quick super chats here. Thank you so much. Shiny311, $10, man. Thank you so much. Says, just got off work. Here's my money. Well, I mean, oh yeah, you started your new job this week. That's right. You started your new job. I hope the job is going well. I don't know what it is. We haven't talked about that. I don't know what you want to say, but I really do hope that you are having a good day at your new work. And that it is fruitful and that it's fulfilling. And I thank you for being here, Shiny, and just having you in the chat's always great. Was the mic cutting out again? Damn it. It doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me on here when that happens. I'm sorry, guys. StreamYard has been acting up today, but they did just do an update. Things do look a little bit different here on the back end, but we'll have to wait and see. And then, of course, Command Unit here with another 60 shekels. Thank you. Says Major Grom Plague Doctor gets on Netflix, and a few days later, Snyder joins Netflix. Coincidence? I think not. And maybe. Maybe there's a coincidence. I mean, Zack he does kind of gravitate towards comic book graphic novel property. So it could be something interesting to see how that plays out here in the future. I am still waiting for Ty to get here, so hopefully he'll be here soon so we can talk about that whole story and a bunch of other stuff. Thank you for that, by the way. Joey here asking, have I seen Fast 9 yet? I have not. It was on my list to go see. I went to go see Black Widow instead, but I can still go see it. Just trying to think of when I'm going to have time to go see it. With the hernia situation, I'm kind of taking it a little bit easy, but then again, walking to and from the theater is not going to be that hard. So maybe I'll take another night off this week and just kind of sneak out for the last show or something along those lines. But I really want to see it. I'm a big Fast fan. The fact that I haven't seen it yet is bothersome, but then again, pandemic. So hopefully we'll get there. Let's see. I Keep It Real says, please say the Snyderverse is over. I mean, look, for right now it is, 100%, like 100% it's done for right now. And I would argue it's done probably in general. I mean, there's been so much that's gone on that it's almost like impossible for it to come back, especially if you look at timing and everything else. I mean, there's animation, and there's been people who have brought that up. What about animation? That is something that DC absolutely excels in, is animation. They do fantastic work. They should continue the Snyderverse with animation. Just pay the money for Gal and Ben and Jason and Ray and Ezra to do that through animation. And I think that would be perfectly fine. That would be a continuation that would not cost them as much money, and it would keep fans happy and paying for HBO Max, as well as people who want to buy it on Blu-ray and 4K and things like that. perfect way to go about it. Again, the problem is the people in charge don't want to work with Zack. And even Discovery is not going to go down that pathway. And that I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or a negative Nancy. I get accused of it all the time. I mean, today I was trolling the Twitter a little bit, and I find like every time I troll, I always like to see like who unfollows me, and a lot of pro Snyder Cut fan Twitter accounts, like they've unfollowed me on there. Like today, Chris Juan Swenson unfollowed me, which is funny. We never talk, so I don't really care. You know, a lot of people that we just never chat, so I don't really care. But I was just trolling people. I posted a "Let It Go" meme, and a lot of people got really mad about that. So anyway, I always kind of laugh. Enyo here asks, hey, are you striking with Uber and Lyft for better working conditions? I don't know anything about a strike. I deliver people's food. So, I mean, none of that, you know, so far it's been pretty decent, in regards to, in regards to the payouts over on that. I don't do the human transfer. I don't want to do that. The food is better. I just prefer it. Anyway here, and then Shiny here, another $5. Thank you, man. Says here, thank you for asking, and remember, here's some shekels. No, man, look, you were excited about starting this new job. I really appreciate you coming on in. So, hold on here. Okay, fourth here says, you can't troll, be stubborn, and treat it like it's cool, then complain when other people exhibit the same behavior. I think there's a bit of a difference, though, in what I'm doing. Like, my trolling is more or less as a subtle wake-up call to certain people. You know, the people that take it too far. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not like attacking any particular person, nor am I coming out and, saying that if you are part of this, I'm not using the term Snyder cult. I'm not doing any of those kind of things. What I'm doing is a little bit different on a tactful level. But it does bother him. And today with the announcement, there was a lot of people that were in the, going through the 5 stages of grief. Right. And I saw a lot of bargaining today. All right. I saw a lot of bargaining. We're getting closer to acceptance, but I saw a lot of bargaining, and people were like, no, this is just a thing. And we're, again, as soon as Ty gets here, we're going to talk about that. Let's see here. Hold on. The Hollywood Reporter just reported that Netflix is looking to buy DC Comics for $7 billion. Is that fucking for real? Hold on here. Let's see. I know I don't see that on there. Is this the Netflix head of physical production, Ty Warren, to exit? No. Where are you seeing the DC? I'm not seeing, because I'm literally on the Hollywood Reporter's website, like right now. So I don't know exactly what hold on. I'll look it up on Twitter real quick here. They should be, you got to be effing with me on this one here, because there's an America Ferrera. I mean, I'm not seeing anything about DC, so I don't know what you're talking about there. I don't see that at all. Now Matt took the bait. How can I'm live right now, and so it's like you can't sit there and say, I mean, yeah, of course I'm going to ask. I can't say I took the bait because I didn't know. Anyway, we're going to be joined here by Ty. How's it going, Ty?
What's going on, Jarbo? How we doing?
We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Just having a little bit of fun tonight, as always. Looking to ruffle a few feathers as per usual, because I'm a stubborn, trolly asshole.
Yeah, of course. So I joined on my phone real quick. I got to switch to the computer, but I just wanted to make sure everything was working. So what have you been talking about?
Right now, well, someone, one of the regulars just tried to bait me by saying that Netflix was looking to buy DC Comics for $7 billion. And so that was pretty funny. But otherwise, I think
been saying that for
it's good. Yeah, eventually one day Warner's will probably sell off DC, right? And then on that day, no one's going to believe it.
Yeah.
It would
also have to be for an unreal amount of money.
I could see it going for under 10 bill, to be honest with you. I could see it going for under 10 billion.
Under?
I mean, like, well, it just depends. Like, I could see them licensing out different characters probably before I see them selling off. Yeah, because there was that rumor about licensing off the different the different comic book characters. You know, like Marvel could come in and go, we want Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and then they would publish those stories under Marvel. And I could see that happening because it's like the easiest way to just get money, you know, without giving up the IP, and they could still do the movies or the animated stuff, but the comics would all go over to Marvel.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe at this point that might actually end up doing pretty well, because I was looking at some of the comic book numbers from earlier this year, and like even Superman is down. It's like we're talking like number 68.
Yeah.
You know?
You're talking comic book sales, right?
Yeah, comic book, yeah.
All right, wait. You're going to see another version of me, a multiverse.
Okay.
Let me pull out.
All right, there you are.
That's what she said.
Yeah, let me pull out. Yeah, make a map of Hawaii on her chest. I will fully admit that's not my joke. I stole that from Jay Moore. Once said that in an interview in Maxim magazine that I read back in like I think the fall of 2000. Like it's like I was like random. I think I bought like the Jessica Alba cover of Maxim magazine because like she was in that show Dark Angel. Yeah, and she's just like really hot. And I was like, you know, reading for the articles and stuff because I didn't want to get Playboy.
Yeah.
You know, because like I remember Jay Moore just randomly talking about pulling out and making a map of Hawaii on her stomach, and I've repurposed that line so many times in the past 2 decades, and no one knows its origin, you know. And I heard one today that I told this person I was gonna steal it, so I'll admit that I stole this, but you know, and I want to start off by talking about this too. At this point, hashtag restore the Snyderverse is basically just Disney will erase the sequel trilogy at this point.
Okay.
That kind of, you know, dedication to this idea, and the proliferation of this idea that somehow magically everyone's going to get what they want. In the case of Doomcock and those guys, the deletion of the sequel trilogy. In the case of Snyder Cut fans, the continuation of the Snyderverse. And as much as I know you and I would like to see the Snyderverse continue, it's pretty easy to see where things are right now.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a firm believer in you know, trudging on and fighting for what you believe in, and you know, all those glorious things that like the movies make out to be more I don't know, mystical than they actually are in real life. Like in real life, it comes down to money and greed, right? And Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers, right? They're just they're doing their own thing, and
they want money and they want greed, or they have greed. Yeah, I mean, but every studio does. Every studio does. Yeah,
and they're not. Listen, and I've been saying this for a long time. They look at it like they've done you a favor, right? By the Snyder cut even coming out, they look at it like, okay, look, we threw you some bait, right? We did what you wanted. Now we're gonna do our thing, and you should be grateful. Like I feel like that's how they look at it. And so like the whole restore of the Snyderverse. Look what happened today. Zack signs with Netflix, or Stone Quarry signs with Netflix.
Yeah,
the Snyderverse has a limited time to restore itself, right, or be restored. And if it doesn't hit that window, then it's just impossible to do. And that window looks, with this article, like with this deal, it looks like that window is now passing.
True. And can we just say, I mean, like, I think at this point, because it's been, was it now 4 months since the release of the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, the official numbers never came out. Zack and Deborah have said that they never got the numbers. The producer of the movie said he never got the numbers. Warner Brothers never released any of that information. No VOD sales, nothing. The only thing we're going to be able to maybe find out in about 6-7 months is going to be how well the 4K sold on home video, because those numbers do get reported and the numbers.com will pick them up. So maybe by the first anniversary, we can look back and go, okay, a fair amount of them sold.
Yeah. And by all means, I'm sure it's going to be a smashing success.
Right? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, you look at how many times the trailer got watched, right? Whether or not that's, you know, the fanboys like us watching it 200 times per, that's a different story. But I mean, if you look on the numbers that we can see, I'm sure the 4K release and the home video releases, you look at the BVS Ultimate Edition remaster was sold out. I mean, I think it's still sold out.
Yeah, you can't even find it in. Well, actually, just the other day, Amazon dropped it to $15 for a brief sale. And I think it was 20 when it came out because I bought it on 4K for I think 20. But yeah, you had to get it. I had to get like I think the second or third shipment when it came out. So like clearly it dropped and people bought it. And what it's really going to boil down to is the Zack Snyder Justice League trilogy. We'll have to see how that box set does, and if if we'll ever be able to get the numbers off of that thing. And there will be, I mean, clearly people are going to spend the money, and I'm going to spend the money. I mean, I want to get that collection myself. I mean, I would thankfully like HBart's here, one of my very generous members. He sent me the 4K copy from the UK.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was really generous of him. And he actually says here, Matt, it's not over. Snyder secretly signed with Warner Brothers next year. Zack Snyder Justice League 2.
Yeah.
Hashtag copium. Hashtag copium.
Yeah. On our channel, we have this kid, Integrity.
That guy. That guy. That effing guy. He hates me.
Oh, he hates you?
Because he would pop into my streams too, or my comment section. He's like, "It's coming back, you guys."
Well, he even dude. Today we had, and this is nothing against the guy or the gal. I don't know if he's a guy or girl, or non-binary, whatever the fuck.
We don't know what you are.
Yeah,
just check a box.
A dinosaur, a hippo,
attack helicopter.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing though.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But he always pops in. Even tonight we had on Charlie Talbert. Charlie Talbert has nothing to do with the Snyderverse, not even remotely.
Yeah.
You just maybe a fan of it. Who knows? Because he talked about Watchmen a little bit. And Integrity pops in and is like, Zack is back to direct Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. Ben Affleck is signed up. It's just like, all right.
I saw your expression. I think your expression matched my expression because like we looked at each other like okay.
What is this? This is so out of place, man.
But you got TTC sniping here, who is I know a dedicated Snyder fan, saying here that watch how in DC fandom Zack appears and shows his slated Justice League and the other spinoffs to start with. Hey man, if that happens, I will have no problem eating my words like flat out have
Straight
no
up.
problem eating my words.
And
But I just don't
part.
see it happening.
That's the best part about this is like, I'm okay with being wrong.
Yeah, I'll tell you this though. So it's like people get mad at me for like my out there hot takes, but you know who I kind of learned that from, and who you kind of remind me of in the same vein is like Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Like I like Gary V. I've read I read Crushing It recently, and I really enjoyed it just because I always enjoy like people talking about this space,
Yes.
like and all the case studies that they did on there. And a lot of us, he goes, yeah, I make bold proclamations all the time. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I admit it.
Right.
But people get mad at me. The haters want to see that I'm wrong. And that's not like, I'm not doing that here predominantly 100%.
Yeah.
I actually think that it's over. I do actually believe that. But my points are always backed up with what people have like publicly said and what the data shows us. Whereas a lot of people have wanted to, push the agenda to the point of where it's like, they don't want to see reality. Like I made the joke before you came on in that like I saw a lot of bargaining phase today, a lot of copium and some hopium mixed in with this announcement. And a lot of people are like, no, it's a 2-year deal. He'll come back. And it's like, okay, we're getting closer to acceptance.
Yes.
Like maybe by the time Rebel Moon comes out in like 2 years, we'll, people will finally go, oh, okay.
Again, it's the same thing. It's like, you know how long, so roughly, right, to shoot, edit, cut, a minimum of a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
Then he's got the anime. Then he's got the Army of Thieves. I know that one's already done and it's coming, but then he's got all these other projects. And
there's another one too. Did you see Army of the Dead 2?
And that, now that's happening, right? Now that's in the talks. Like Netflix, dude. Once Netflix got a hold of Zack, they are not going to let him go.
No, because the numbers came out and they said, well, and the money is there, but not only that, like, so people have to look at it like this. It's a couple different pronged thing. So when the movie dropped back in May, they did have it up on Cinemark, right? They played it in like 420 screens, 423, I think, right? I went to go see it in theaters because I'm like, hell yeah, and I really liked it, and so, but I I paid the money, had no issue with that, but apparently that was really good for Cinemark, and that solidified a deal between Netflix and Cinemark to push this kind of stuff forward, to go forward and to have a better relationship in order to to get a more of a wider distribution on these films. Because look, you got stuff like Gunpowder Milkshake is playing in 35 millimeter.
I heard it's good.
I haven't seen it yet myself. I need to, but it was playing at the New Beverly in LA, which is Quentin Tarantino's art house. I've been there. I've been there a bunch. I love that theater. It is totally old school, but I love that theater. And like they're playing, I'm like Gunpowder Milkshake and 35 mil. Oh, hell yeah. I'd love to have gone seen that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. You're talking about, you saw Army of the Dead in theaters, right?
Yeah.
In the Cinemark. We don't have those around here. Excuse me. We don't have Cinemark around here. So unfortunately I wasn't able to, but I'm sure it looked great. But there's also problems with that movie too that I have. I'm a Snyder diehard, right? I love that.
Oh no, there were problems with Army of the Dead. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I'm sorry, Gita, she got fucked. Yeah. And then she dies, and then there's not one the whole thing was about Gita. At least with the daughter storyline, and then she's the only survivor, and at no point does she seem to give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just like, I'm watching the movie theater and she's like, shot her dad, and she's crying, and I'm like, but where the fuck is Kita?
Yeah,
where the fuck are her kids? Did her kids get hit in that low yield nuclear blast? Did Zack just commit fucking genocide on this family? What happened?
Right. Jesus. Yeah. And as soon as that dude, as soon as his homeboy popped his head out of the nuclear radiation, I was like, "What? He's not making it was past that."
Yeah,
but
it was
I understand.
Low yield. Yeah, it was low. They made sure to say low yield, so it was more of a destructive force rather than it was so
it wasn't Hiroshima. And that turned out, right?
That was. People live there now, so that was super low yield. That was definitely very I was a 2 megaton bomb. I think we have 60 megaton now or whatever. They could eviscerate entire continents.
Literally.
Literally, yeah, they could just whatever. But no. But there was elements of the movie that were kind of a little bit too fanciful. But it's a fun movie. I like it, and I want to see more. So they got Army of the Dead 2 that's coming, and that's even they're talking about that here. They got Rebel Moon. They got a whole bunch of stuff that Zack's going to be working on here. But the thing I want to say though about Army of the Dead was initially they had said that in the first 10 days of Army of the Dead coming out, 72 million households watched Army of the Dead. It turns out that they were wrong. It wasn't 72 million. They corrected that number to 75 million.
Oh, okay. It went up.
So it's 3 million more households ended up watching Army of the Dead. I think in the first 28 days.
That is it doesn't sound like a lot. And yes, I am a Las Vegas Raider fan. Always get shit for that. But it sounds like a small number, but that's a large number to be off. 3 million households. That's a lot of people in a lot of houses to be off.
Yeah. So they say here that it was 75 million in the first 4 weeks of release. So
Tuesday, when Netflix disclosed quarterly earnings, the company revealed 75 million member accounts worldwide tuned in for Snyder's Army. And the crazy thing about it is, and that's what I'm worried about with these streaming services, because let's just say, to be fair, right, that there's 3 million, I don't even, 75 million people paying 10, let's just round it out and make it even, paying $10 a month.
Yeah.
Well, you know how much money that is per month, right? That's
they've got 186 million, I think. What is Netflix's subscriber count? Because I remember it's near the 200, if not over 200.
I mean, that's an unreal amount of money per month. And do you expect and then you look over at studios like Marvel, right? Who they'll gross $1 billion on a film, and that's considered a success.
Yeah.
But what's a success? The streaming service has changed what is success. success doesn't necessarily mean box office anymore. It means something else. And I feel like that's going to, like we're in this really weird transitional period. And
Oh, no, I completely agree with you, except I just took a quick look. As of May 11th, 2021, Netflix has 207.64 million active subscribers, paying subscribers.
I don't even know how to do that number.
I don't even know. Like, I
don't know how to do that number.
You know, here's the thing though, but Disney Plus is on track to beat them by 2025. So that goes to show you right there. And then Amazon claims to have like 190 million because they've got the Amazon Prime people,
Well,
right?
yeah, that's the Amazon. In my opinion, is genius, right? Amazon by doing the streaming, like the video side of it thing.
Yeah.
Like that was ingenious because especially the way things went down with the pandemic. Jeff Bezos is literally one of the only human beings to be richer because of the pandemic.
Yeah, and he just went to space yesterday and then thanked everybody for it.
Yeah.
He's like, I know your lives have sucked for the last year, but thank you for giving me. He's making like, at one point, he was making like $3 billion a day.
Yeah. And the guy there's no stopping it. Right. So when they created the streaming service, they didn't really have much going on. No one was like really attracted to it, but they were still buying stuff on Amazon. And it just so happens that Amazon Prime Video came with that same, bundle price.
Yeah.
And now they are growing a content like library that's gonna be up there. Like,
well, the
Invincible
MGM purchase is pretty
huge.
insane. Yeah,
huge.
And
but
I
it's pre-19. It's like post 1980 something or something like that, right? So half the Rockies aren't theirs. I don't understand how that works.
They'll probably find a way to pay for the Rockies. But I'll say this though: the thing is that they are going to have, Amazon is pushing, Lord of the Rings, and they're doing the Wheel of Time, which already admitted yesterday. I think today, Wheel of Time, which is a very long book series, is 14 books. Like the author Robert Jordan passed away before the last I think couple books came out. And so but he knew he was dying. And so he got another fantasy writer to finish the story. And so Amazon is they've already greenlit 2 seasons and they're already shooting the 2nd season right now. And I'm like, look, you got 14 books to get through. And these ain't like your Harry Potter type adaptations where,
right.
There's a core plot, but you can get to it pretty quickly. Like Robert Jordan wrote, oh my God, it's like the audiobook for book 4 was like 36 hours.
I'm not familiar with the plot. Can you kind of?
Okay, so I'm trying to, it's been so long, but the general idea is that you've got like a guy by the name of Rand al'Thor who is kind of like the Dragonborn, kind of
Okay.
like, so it's like I'm gonna totally get it wrong. There is so much in this damn thing.
Okay.
I've read the first 4 books. Okay, so yeah, let me just if I could find just a general plot. All right. Oh my God. Okay. So the series is set in an unnamed world that due to the cyclical nature of time as is depicted in the series is simultaneously the distant past and the distant future Earth.
Oh Jesus.
That doesn't tell me anything. Okay. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Oh my God, it's like fucking forever long. It's just it's okay. So this is a plot summary according to Wikipedia. The prequel novel New Spring takes place during the Aiel War and depicts the discovery by certain Aes Sedai, who are like the witches. Let's think of them as witches.
Okay.
And that they're the only ones who can use magic is the Aes Sedai. So and the dragon has been reborn. The series proper commences almost 20 years later in the Two Rivers, a near forgotten district of the country of Andor. An Aes Sedai, Moraine, and her ward Lan arrive in the village of Edmund's Field, secretly aware that the servants of the Dark One are searching for a young man living in the area. Moraine is unable to determine which of the 3 youths, you have Rand al'Thor, Matrim Cauthon, and Perian Aibara, so she doesn't know which one of these guys is the Dragon Reborn. And leads all 3 of them from Two Rivers along with their friend Egwene and Nynaeve. A village wise woman later joins them. I mean, it's like, hold on, the whole thing. Sorry. The first novel is there's I'm not even fucking kidding you. There's so much to the series. Like,
but it sounds like kind of like really interesting, actually.
It is super interesting. It's
kind
oh my
of Game
God, like
of Thronesy, you know?
Oh no, wait till you see the Trollocs. the Trollocs are like kind of like the creatures that the Dark
Okay.
One sends after him initially, and they're kind of like weird chicken hybrid creatures. Like,
Oh,
or think
yes.
like the if I recall, like the depiction of the Trolloc is just like this chicken creature type thing, but like it's so weird. But it's like they have like there's the Aes Sedai, and then there's the Aiel, and the Aiel are kind of like the indigenous culture that are like the like the tribes, warriors, those kind of people, and like they've got their whole system, and there's magic, and there's like all this crazy shit. It's fucking wicked. It's a great it's a great series, and the characters are all fantastic. It's just there's so much to explain. I can't. It's been so long. Everything's kind of melded together for me. That's
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I mean,
I'm
there's
like
14 books, bro.
yeah. It's 14. I mean, I only read the first
you've only
four.
read 4, but that's how much.
But it was it was long.
That's a series of books for me.
It is. Well, here's the thing. Book 10 takes place in like one day, and each chapter is from a different character's perspective. And the thing is, there are so many fucking characters in this series. It makes Lord of the Rings look like, the Diary of Anne Frank in regards to like how many characters are there in a very small setting is what I'm trying to say.
It's
know
not
what
a
I mean?
good stream until Anne Frank's mentioned.
Yes, well, I don't know where the fuck that came from. Oh yeah, hashtag cancel Jarbo. It's all the time. But yeah, so it's a fantastic series, from what I remember, and doing the adaptation.
They have that.
They have that, and that's going to be massive. And then they've also got The Expanse, which was a popular, I believe it was Sci-Fi, canceled the show. Amazon picked it up. It's got a huge fan base of sci-fi lovers.
It does.
And then you've got with the acquisition of MGM, you got The Boys, you got Invincible, but with MGM, you've got Stargate.
Oh.
And that's massively popular amongst its fans. And so if they find a way to bring back Stargate, which has had, multiple shows like Atlantis and Universe and everything else, as well as the SG-1, they could find a way to bring those fans over, and they could start really playing to the high fantasy and to the science fiction fan base, as well as the more mature comic fan base. Because for a while, Amazon, what they were doing is they were trying to play up like they were trying to play in like they were PBS. They were the PBS of fucking streamers, They would do shows like there was one called The Last Tycoon, which was based on an unfinished book, the last book by F. Scott Fitzgerald, who died before finishing it. But that was actually, it was about the Hollywood in like the 1920s. And you had like Kelsey Grammer as a studio boss and Matt Bomer as like the best, executive producer in town. And it was a really well done show. But they were also doing a bunch of these other period shows at the time. And then the whole time Jeff Bezos is like, I want a fucking Game of Thrones. He kept telling you kept hearing these reports. He's like, I want a Game of Thrones. So then in 2017 or 2018, he personally negotiated the deal with the Tolkien estate for Lord of the Rings.
So, which is, I mean, I've been trying to figure out what that deal actually entails, because if I've got my facts straight, the Tolkien estate didn't make too much on the originals.
I don't believe they did either.
Someone was telling me this, and I did a little research into it, and it was kind of true, and I'm not really like too sure. The sources were kind of questionable, but it looks like that's why there was such like a they had high demands for Amazon. And I mean, now there's reports of Amazon including Game of Thrones type sex scenes.
There's been reports of that. Yeah. And, and the thing is like, not only, but I just saw yesterday that the deal also includes like the Silmarillion and like another thing that Tolkien had. Okay. So like they got look, Jeff Bezos went in there and personally negotiated $250 million for this deal. We're talking like, I believe at the time I had heard that it was going to be like, they were estimating 5 seasons, and we're not talking standard, like again, I don't have confirmation of this, but like, I thought I read that what they want to do is they want to have like fucking 22 episode seasons. Like we're not talking like, your standard cable television, 13 episodes in and out sort of thing. Or now the 8 episode markets that they're going. We're talking like full blown network TV shit. They're spending like $1 billion on the property, from my understanding. And like, I mean, one of the producers is like, that number's kind of blown up.
The number. I mean, I can barely afford, keep $250 in the bank. 250 million. It's like I can't even fathom it.
Oh, I know. You're just sitting there going like, who do I like? Whose dick do I have to suck at this particular point in time? Like I'll take a shot in the mouth to get me $1 million. Oh yeah, fine.
$1 million, man. I'd do it for a little bit less.
You're like $50 in a fucking bus ticket across town, baby. Like,
treat me like the homeless in LA. Bust me away, baby. Bust me away. Come on.
Or bust them south a little bit. Yeah. Jesus. But
let me get your thoughts on something.
Yeah.
Because I know we talked about this a little bit, but so speaking of Snyder, the Snyder community, right?
Yeah.
We were gonna go here eventually, but
yeah.
So the motion comic lasted a couple days. Didn't really make it too far out of the water, and now some people involved have vanished.
Yeah.
We were all friends. Or at least I think someone. I think we were all aware. I think I've seen you over there a couple times.
Over on Lightcast?
Yeah.
I popped up. I know him and I did one stream, and then I might have popped in a couple times.
Or maybe I'm mixing up a Film Junkie or something. I don't know.
I've been on Film Junkie. You and I have been on Film Junkie.
Yeah. That's what it is. But I mean, Lightcast is literally. I keep saying literally, like really weird. I don't know why.
Like you're a Valley girl? It's literally?
It's literally.
Yeah, you want to make it sound smarter and dumber at the same time. It's Valley, yeah, 818.
No, but I mean they're literally gone now. They've disappeared off of everything.
Oh, well, yeah, so about that.
But the culture nerds also saying that they weren't involved at all.
Which is a load of crap.
Which is a literal. I did that one on purpose. Come on, really? Don't lie to me like that.
Did you see? I know. Oh, Jay here says, Matt, you were on Lightcast. Yeah, I was on Lightcast. Yeah. But one of the things that I find to be fascinating about all that is somebody sent me a Twitter Spaces recording of Lightcast. Talking to people, especially one guy. It was about maybe a 15-minute recording. And at the end of it, like he just goes, he basically says, if you have any issue with the artwork, talk to the artist. And then which I thought that was really weird. You were approving these images as you were coming on it, as they were coming on and you were happy with them, but not knowing that they were inspired by and referencing other pieces of art. Which I get, there's plausible deniability there, okay?
There is, 100%.
100%. But it's how they handled the plausible deniability that is where they made the mistake. Because in the same recording, he says, well, we were going to fire the guy. We were going to tell them we weren't going to be using his artwork anymore. But here's the thing. I never saw that publicly posted anywhere. And I was looking on Lightcast Twitter. I saw nothing outside of those 3 statements that he put out and then a couple retweets and that real snide, like, dig at Zack Snyder and Richard Donner or whatever. Yeah. And then nothing on Nicotina. And then nothing on anyone else that I could find that would be talking about removing Mariano from the role. In fact, even after Nicotina had said on his own live show that they were getting rid of Mariano, he was still retweeting Mariano artwork. Okay. So I don't fucking get it personally. I don't get it. There's some weird shit there. But the thing is though, is like even on Nicotina's live stream with like Zeverfet, who, and I like Ryan Zeverfet.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
But he was out there saying this is basically the fans' fault and like the toxic fans and that they fucked up and that's because of them that we're not going to get this. And then he had his own live stream yesterday where people were watching it and sending information back to me and they were saying, oh no, once again, he's attacking the fans. Once again, he's blaming them. And the thing here is, I personally do not give a shit about the inspiration because art is effectively an inspiration. All art is derivative of something else, effectively, So we watch
the flattery thing, right?
Imitation is flattery.
Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Yeah, but if you look at some of these images, and not to cut you off here, but I have a team. So we have a channel as well. This is how Jabo and I know each other, right? So not trying to plug myself here, but
plug away. It's all good, man. Plug me, daddy. Anyway.
God. Yes. But Jesus Christ. Man. No, where was I saying?
You wanted to plug yourself.
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You got your team over there on Pop Culture
We have
Corner.
we have the little group chat, and
Yeah.
And we were literally fighting each other over this whole thing, right? Like half of my team was on this side, I was the only one on this side, and it caused toxicity even amongst us, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at it on a grand scheme of things and kind of stepped back out of into a neutral perspective, because I'm not tied to one side or the other. But I stepped away for a minute and kind of looked in on it, and I was like, I mean, you look at the artwork; those were approved, like you said. There are 4 to 5 shots that I've seen that are not inspired; they are directly copied.
Yeah.
And you cannot deny it. There's no there's no way around it. They're directly that's just the way it is. I don't think that's a bad thing, and I don't think that that's maybe the reason that this should be canceled. My whole thing was, what's the legality of it? Right? Where was the legality of it? Like, how were they going to get away with this? I get flagged for mentioning Free Britney Spears on YouTube.
Yeah.
How are they going to get this?
Well, there are legality when it comes to transformative work, is what a lot of this boils down to.
Okay.
Is what we're talking about is fair use. So under fair use, you have the right to create transformative work that provides commentary, criticism, critique, or education. And so if you are, and then you can also turn that into something that is a unique creation as well. That would be more into the transformative. The thing is, though, is my situation, what I believe, based on what I was reading about other Warner Brothers fan films that were contacted by Warner Brothers, is Warner's reaches out because they have to. And they just want to make sure no one's making any money, and they want to make sure that no one is going to profit. Okay. And that is their primary goal, because that is how they protect their IP. That is how trademark law works. If you don't defend it, you lose it. That is just the reality of it. That is why a lot of the things happen the way that they do. And if those guys weren't making any money on it and they weren't doing anything, which I fully believe that was the case, then they would have been fine. They would have been absolutely fine to go forward. The issue, though, is not even the fucking tracing, because they could have just said we were just being inspired. You know, it's the fact that Matthew went out there and he did his salesman thing.
Yeah.
And he did that, like, no, it's all original. It's 100%.
He's a good salesman too.
He's a very good salesman. Interestingly, that he works in mental health is his job.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have, I found a bio of him.
Okay.
And it's not listed that he has a degree in psychology. He's got a degree in like a BA in English. You know, and but I don't know, but he's really good at he's a good bullshitter. He's very good at bullshitting. Mm-hmm. He'd be a fantastic used car salesman. And maybe after this is what he might end up doing, because now this shit's going to follow him around. But anyway, not that,
I mean, look what happened. And this is not to throw shade at anybody, but I mean, if you look at what it was all built on, right? I mean, this was a show that made claims about a lot of different things, right? They made claims about a lot of different things. And the host of the show, the day of the Snyder Cut releasing, backs out and says, I'm only going to do interviews. Okay, I'm cool with that. Comes back, does the interview with Snyder, does a couple other interviews, and then this project comes out, and then he's out advertising as now Lightcast Films. He said that he was taking a step back, but it seemed, I just don't, it was all, it didn't add up to me. And I just, I really did. I like Matt. I like Matthew. I like Taylor. But you see what happened with Taylor, his whole story, where he came from, where he went. I mean, something didn't seem
well,
right.
Here's the thing with Lightcast Films is, originally it was under a different name.
Okay.
It was under Light Post Films.
Light Post
Films. Kind
of like what literal studios do, is change the name of things.
Yeah, well, before he became Lightcast podcast, he actually tried doing a web series that he like wrote and I think produced and directed. That was under the company.
You told me about that.
Light Post. Yeah, this was also I got like kind of a whole info dump on him sent to me yesterday. People are looking into him, which is, and I mean, I'm kind of curious about his life as well. I don't really look. Here's the thing. I don't find him to be trustworthy, but I don't dislike the guy. I don't hate the guy or nothing like that. I don't wish ill will on him. But I do feel like that. I feel like him and Taylor have absolutely come in and grifted a lot of people. And the thing is, like, you can look up Taylor Landine and look that up on Reddit, and you'll find like, you know, some pretty insane accusations levied at him before he changed his name to Taylor Murphy.
Yeah.
Right.
Then that's what I'm directly talking about.
But I'll tell you this though. This is the weird fucking thing, right? So there's a bunch of anonymous, you know, movie insiders on Twitter. Okay. There's a guy named Roger Wardell who was big a number of years ago. He disappeared randomly, but then came back as Roger Wardell 2. And people started looking at it and paying attention to it. And that is what the accusation against Taylor Murphy was that not like us, but Taylor Murphy was under the name Taylor Landine, which is his biological name, you know, his legal name or whatever. They were at that point acting, you know, using that account to put out scoops that they would then cover or they would then corroborate or whatever. That is the accusation.
Okay.
And then Roger Wardell 2 had been silent for years until just like last week when all of a sudden I forgot that I was following the guy. All of a sudden, Roger Wardell 2 starts posting Marvel scoops, starts posting Marvel information. And I see that and I'm like, okay, so the Snyderverse is practically done. Everything you've said about the Snyderverse is not coming true at all. People know that you're full of it. People have known, but they just want to continue listening and believing. And now all of a sudden, the account 7 years ago that you were accused of running, that's been dead silent all of this time, has now come back and started pulling out more Marvel scoops. Like, are we going? I mean, does he not think the internet's like not going to remember this kind of stuff? And as a person who fully understands how the internet remembers shit, you know, I mean, as evidenced even by a guy in the chat, Bend Over is using one of my Rule 34 picks, of which there are Rule 34 of me. You know, so that's the whole point. Is like, it's just everyone's, you know, connected with this was not being truthful in my opinion, especially about the artwork. And I don't know if you saw the stream on it that I did the other night, but I was looking around on Dawson Weidrich's Twitter and he had posted this Captain Cold GIF of like an animated Captain Cold, like little
from
section.
The actual
from yeah. And so, well, he doesn't say that it is from that. He implied, you know, it's heavily implied that it's his. Well, then I was sent another GIF showcasing how the Captain Cold image 100% overlaid on an actual comic panel. So it was just lifted. It was probably recreated in order to allow for the animation part of it. But it was just lifted and copied. And then the next day, Dawson just, I can't handle Twitter. And he just leaves Twitter as well. You know, he's like, it's all full of snakes and backstabbers. It's like, I don't know, man, like looking at your artwork here, it kind of seems like you're not being truthful, you know? And then even Zeverfet, you can find him from back in, I think, May. He was talking about, he did a stream where he was drawing the Flash. And he said that it was inspired by Jim Lee and another author or another artist, and that he's working on a project that he can't talk about yet, but we're going to know about real soon. And that was his artwork. That was from the motion comic. And I'm like, so all of you fuckers were tracing or using all of this stuff for like as visual references. And the idea behind it probably was to establish an aesthetic and to get this thing out by Q3, because that to me was the weirdest thing. When they're talking about like this script that they wrote 12 chapters of, and each chapter was going to have a different art style to represent a different, I guess, aspect of the fandom. And they've got all the voice actors to come and do their stuff. And all the stuff is apparently all done. All the audio has been recorded. It's been compiled in a rough edit. And so they've got all that information done or all put together. And then they were putting out all these artwork pieces. They were, I think, trying to rush to the finish line to get it out by the next quarter. They said Q3 2021. That's like next month.
But what was the rush?
I don't know what the rush was. Now, I think part of it had to do with the home video release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that's because they are doing the American release or the domestic release of it, I believe in September. And that's going to probably sell out, as we talked about before, that these projects are going to probably sell out pretty well.
Okay.
And so at that point then, because they did reach out through like the press to different outlets, I think Comic Book and Screen Rant obviously wrote about it. And they reached out and they got all the press to talk about it when they announced the project to build hype for when it comes out. Now, look, the idea of a fan film is always to get eyes on your work. You may not make any money on it directly, but there's always ancillary ways of making cash. Let's be real. You have a Patreon, you've got AdSense, you've got monetization, you've got all of these other avenues to make money talking about the process. As long as it's not the finished product, you can find a way to make it work. This is what Star Wars Theory did when he had his Vader fan film and Warner Chappell came in and Content ID claimed a song, and so he came out and he's like, Disney, copyright me and you're making money and all of this. And that video blew up and it got like 2 million views. And that is several $1,000s that he made off of, quite frankly, manufactured drama.
Yes.
And so, but he couldn't make money directly off the fan film, but he could make money off of this and everything else that came with it. And so that is, I'm like, and again, making money on a side, I don't even really care about that. I don't care about that. It is a hustle. Yeah, this YouTube is like that, but let's not, let's at least address that this is a reality. And a lot of the other artists that came on in, they're putting in their hard work. Look, I'm not saying they were expecting financial compensation, but let's be fair too. They're going to want their name put out there in articles. They're going to want to be Googleable for this. They're going to want to have their artwork shown and shared and people to praise them. I mean, whether you're getting some kind of compensation, whether it's social or it's, like emotional or whatever, you're going to do it. I'm just saying, it's like, they're going to want to get more stuff out of that. They're going to get subs and get views. And ultimately it all kind of, coalesces into being something they can profit off of. And I'm fine with all of that, by the way. The project seemed really cool. The problem though, is that Matthew Miranda himself even made the claim in this audio that he came on in the post-production phase. And I don't believe that. Because if what we saw, I know this is because he's directing it, right? He's directing it. That is the thing. The
whole thing's post production.
Yeah, I know. But he was saying, he's directing it, and all that stuff. And so, but he said in this interview or this live stream basically that he's like, I just came in the post production side of it, and it's like you came in to put it all together, but it was already written, it was already recorded, it was already, look, as much as I like Nicotina and those guys, I don't foresee that level of detail coming out of that group. No. I don't see that level of organization coming out of that group.
And here's the deal, and I want to make this very abundantly clear.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure I'll have some messages on somewhere tomorrow about something I said or whatever. And that's okay with me. I'm not here to be anyone's friend. I'm not here. Well, I mean, I would love to make friends, right? I love.
Real quick. Sorry. Apparently, I just want to make this. T.W. McKay, who is a very good guy, and I trust him.
I love
he says he spoke with Dawson, and Dawson said that image wasn't Dawson's, and that it was given to him by Lightcast to distribute the artwork. So that wasn't Dawson. So let me scratch that from the record. Okay. That was on his page. He didn't indicate that it wasn't his artwork, though. That is true.
Okay.
But that's not his artwork that was given to him by Lightcast. Oh my God. So he basically this goes deeper, man.
So yeah, and that kind of goes to what I was gonna say is I've had Lightcast on my show multiple times, including Taylor, right? I've been on Nicotine, I've had on all these guys. I like these people as people, but I came here to do one thing, and that was to report, update, and have some fun and be able to speak my mind just from what I can see and hopefully influence some other people that, along the way and hopefully do some good out of it all.
Yeah.
So just because I like you, like Jarvo, if tomorrow you did something that was heinous, I would say exactly what I'm saying right now.
Yeah. Right? I would expect it.
And that's just the deal. That's the way it is. Listen, I don't know you guys. I don't know you guys personally. I know you through the internet, right? And if you do a certain thing that I question morally, I will not sit idly by unless you pay me money. Just kidding about the money. That was supposed to be a joke. I don't know. But no. But I will not sit idly by, and I'll always voice my opinions, whether I'm right or wrong.
Yeah,
is up for your debate or your. That's up to you. But I'll never shelter or neuter what I say simply because, I don't know. Because I can't be biased in this game, and
I think that's part of the issue too. Is now look, I understand what it is for people to take things out of context and run with them in ways that are very, very damaging. I do get that, and in this situation, I did a video last week when they first announced the project, and I'm like, look, my only concern is Matthew Miranda. That's my only concern is Lightcast because he's a bully behind the scenes, and this is confirmed with a lot of people. And that's my concern. And then Lightcast came back with some passive aggressive comment that I thought was hysterical. And that was about it. But then when this whole thing blew up, it's like the fact that the people in charge, like, were talking about it. And I understand they're trying to put together a plan of action. I understand that. And I get that they're trying to figure it out. But what they came up with was just the words "we're sorry" never appeared until the project was dead. And I'm like, and I even said, as soon as there was blood in the water, this project is dead. As soon as there's something like this, the trust isn't going to be there. The people who don't like them and who are gonna, like, there was a Screen Rant article that had misconstrued what was said about raising funds, and I talked.
My understanding is every single dollar made was for AFSP, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. The thing is, no money was made yet.
Right, of course.
Yeah, no money was made yet. Yeah, but any money that would have come in directly through a link that Nicotina would have organized, because Nicotina had done this through Deck the Halls and I think both Justice Cons, and so he was managing that and working with AFSP directly, which is again on the up and up, and I totally commend him for it. I think the problem though is him and I did talk to him and I did explain to him that somebody needs to say something. This was before the Lightcast had put out anything. I told him, I said, you're listed as an executive producer. You need to say something, or you need to take control of the situation, because this is now a very big PR nightmare. And it's not it's not the end of the world, but someone should say something. And then of course, they left it to Matt, and I don't know the full specifics of it, but it wasn't good enough, because the writing that first statement that he put out, and the picture statement, was more or less just I'm sorry you feel that way, but and then a few hours later they had decided to just cancel this. And then even in that Spaces call that was recorded, Lightcast did say that he blames the toxicity of the fans, the toxic fandom, and that as a result of this, he is going to be going away for a long time, and he may never come back. But if he does, they won't pretty much be talking about the Snyderverse at that point in time. And I'm like,
that. Oh man.
And I listened to the whole conversation, and it was just again, he's no fault of his own. And then even,
and you saw the post, right? You saw the post, the basically where they admit everything. It was the last post they made before their account went inactive.
Is it I saw the one with the canceling of the project, but the other,
yes, that one. It was
I saw
big
that one,
black, black one. That sounded great. It was the one where they specifically mention legality, and that's where I brought it up again. I was because I knew that there was going to be some legal issues. I just had this gut feeling that there was going to be some legality that they were going to have to sift through. And of course that was going to be there. I really don't have, part of me is kind of slightly disappointed that I'll never get to see it. Cause I was interested.
Me too.
I was definitely, my interest was piqued, and, but I was saying this from the start, and I'm not going to abandon it now. I just don't think it's their place to do. I never thought that was their place to do. I think it's like, if we want the Snyderverse to be restored, I would like it done the right way. And this was not going to solve any issues. This is just going to, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the point of it was beside like.
Well, they said it was to raise awareness, and to be fair, I think it was to raise awareness, but it was mostly done for the fandom. It wasn't going to be done. It wasn't going to move the needle with anybody. It wasn't going to move the needle with the general public, because the general public doesn't watch fan films. They just don't, and if they released it right around the time of the 4K home video domestic release of Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, then of course that would then, be up in the trades, and then that would be in the high in the algorithm, and then people would be looking for it, and it could come up as a suggested, and then they might get more eyeballs on it and get more articles written about it. Yeah, the SEO is very good. So from that perspective, you can see why they were probably rushing to get it done by Q3. There was one part of that call though where Matt had said, well, we could have just like not said anything, not shown anything, and then just dropped it. And I'm telling you guys this right now, if it was out and it was done and they put it out, this would not have been as big of an issue. Because at that point they could simply just go, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask, or to beg forgiveness than it is to ask permission. Yeah. So all they would have had to do is go like, we were inspired. The artwork is an original creation, but it is, very much inspired by, because even though something is inspired by, it still can be considered an original. The thing is though, if they just would have said, we're sorry, we got this wrong, but it's out there and people could see it and enjoy it. If it was good, people wouldn't give a shit. I mean, I'm telling you, it wouldn't matter as much. But because there is a big animosity towards Lightcast, and because of his ego, and because of how like they didn't address it right away, once that got out, it was basically dead. And I feel bad for people who put in their time and their effort. And once the voice actors started leaving and Ray Porter was like, I'm out, I don't want to do with fan interactions anymore. And he's bailing out.
For him, and like I said, I've personally, the guy's a friend of mine. And for him to say the things that he said and react that way, that's when I knew something was truly wrong. Yeah. Because he's one of the nicest people in the world. Truly one of the most genuine human beings I've ever talked to.
No, he is.
Like, I couldn't stress that enough. So as soon as that happened, and then I saw Liz Wonder pull out, and I saw Wonder Meg pull out, that's when I started like adding it up, and I was like, something's really wrong. And then the next day it was canceled, of course.
As soon as I saw, and I had been told behind the scenes that Meg was out, and that Liz was out, but like hours before they pulled out. And so I was being contacted, and I wasn't talking about this publicly. I was just like, I'm being told these things. And I was like, nah, like, I'm like, come on, it can't be that bad. And then, it ended up being that bad. And I was like, oh shit, like they're actually bailing out and stuff. I just wish, look, all I really say here, and I've said this to Nicotina as well, and I don't hold any ill will towards you. I still like Anthony as ACS. I still like, Nicotina. I mean, like,
would you call him Nicotina?
Nicotina. Yeah. I don't know why. But I also, like, I like Dawson well enough. I mean, we're not really friendly, but like, I have no real issue with the guy. Especially now that I know that he didn't, that was art given to him. Cause I thought, like, he's an artist and he cares about his craft. That's pretty fucked up. But, that was art given to him by Lightcast. So that's fascinating. And, it feels like these people were just in over their head, and the guy running the show didn't know what he was doing and is terrible at PR.
Kind of sounds like Warner Brothers, to be honest.
A little bit. Yeah. They should hire him. They should hire Lightcast. Be like,
sounds like a Warner Brothers.
Yeah. We're going to find out that either Warner Brothers or Defy Media picked up Matthew Miranda. It's like, oh yeah, I'm working as a publicist now. Like, that seems about right. That seems right. Who's your client? Harvey Weinstein?
Oh my God. Jesus.
Yeah, there we go. We go.
What do you think about OJ getting out? Not OJ. Bill Cosby.
Oh man, Bill.
What a surprise, huh?
I think that was my actual response to when I read that. I was like, it's like, I know, like, what is this fucking football? Like, Jesus Christ. The fact that they got him on a technicality,
But they're saying that Weinstein could also, I mean, because Weinstein was also tried on his character and not on the act.
Yeah.
So they're saying that maybe a couple years down the line,
Oh, I think I made
could even get out.
I made a crack about that. I'm all like, well, this just killed the Me Too movement, you know, because like of how they did it. And I mean, I think Predator should be called out. Absolutely. I think we need more due diligence in how some of those things come out. You know, like because I saw there was a super chat from Ben Dover talking about like, oh, hey, when are you going to go on Popcorn Planet? I ain't going on Popcorn Planet again. Me and Andy Signor are not anywhere near talking, and we wouldn't be. But as much as I dislike Andy Signor, that's his channel, yeah. And as much as I dislike Andy Signor, I you know, he was accused of some very horrible, heinous things that people very much believed without question. It did tank his life, his career. He did make mistakes, sure. But he proved that the accusations levied against him didn't happen. And as a result, he still is kind of banished from Hollywood, and he still has to live in Tampa, which is, you know, like, I mean, there's very few worse places to live in the United States, in my opinion, than Florida.
In general.
Florida in
I've
general.
never had the pizza down there.
No. Why do I
Terrible.
want soggy cardboard? I've eaten at Little Caesars.
By the way, there's also that doubled as a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference. There's a whole series, a whole subplot where they get relocated to Florida, and the jokes that they land they couldn't be more on point about Florida in general. Like, because I've been down to Florida. The best part of Florida are the parts that you see in the advertisements, right? Like for Disney World. That's it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I told my girlfriend, she's like, let's go to Florida. And I told her, I'm like, I will only go to Florida if I can fly into Orlando. And then I travel to the resort, and that's where I stay. Or I travel, I think, to St. Petersburg, and I get on a cruise ship, and that's where I stay.
Yes.
You know, like that's about it. And then other than that, I have no desire because I view Florida very similarly to how I view Australia. To anything that's not you wants to kill you. So you have to be very careful in Florida. But it's kind of funny. We can transition over to this one thing today. And this is okay. I've never been to Florida, and if one thing is going to get me there faster than literally anything else on the planet, it's going to be going to see the Galactic Star Cruiser. Yes. And this is a poster they just dropped for that today. More information will definitely be coming as time goes on, but this is a 2-day, 3-night, all-inclusive Star Wars resort hotel, and where you get to like LARP as a Jedi for 2 days, you know.
So it's fully interactive?
Fully interactive. Like we're talking like ARG, like we're talking augmented reality AR games.
Yeah.
For like, you know, they have the lightsaber that actually like it does go up and go down.
Is that where that one is?
That's where that one is. I mean, obviously you won't be able to buy it, but you might be able to like to hold it in your hand. To wield it for a second. Like, oh my God, this is better than the first time I touched myself. You know, and so it's just going to be like.
People have been talking about this lightsaber for my entirety of my life. Right? Is a legitimate lightsaber that does lightsaber things, right? Not just whoosh and whips open and then you can make it light up. Like one that like zoom, like really
and the technology, I don't think it's ever going to like slice bread or anything like that.
No.
But you know, I
as
mean,
long as it looks cool.
If it looks cool, I can just go like, vroom, you know, and it's not like going to be the plastic ones that are just the recreations, you know.
Holy shit.
And yeah, I don't know what this thing's going to be, but it's
$3,300 per night.
Is it per night or just no? Because it's for the whole experience.
If it's per night, then that's no one can go.
I don't think it's $3,300. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be $3,300 per night. I think it's $3,300 for like the cabin or something. I don't know. I've heard talks that you can bunk like 4 to 6 people in a room, and the rooms aren't very big, but you can like more or less.
Where you're going to spend your time.
A few of us who do YouTube who are big Star Wars nerds have talked about pooling our cash together and all going in on a room and then just like bunking together for the 2 days and 3 nights. And I'm like, I'll do it. Like,
I'll do it. I'm all in on that.
The last time I went to VidCon, we Airbnb'd a condo, you know, like but it was a timeshare in a hotel building. It was literally 1 bed, 1 couch, 4 of us. Yeah. You know, like
you do what you got to do.
You do what you got to do. You just need a place to take a shower, to generally maybe take a shit. Although if you're sharing it with other people, there's going to be other bathrooms going shit there. And then you're going to be out. You're going to be playing Star Wars. You're going to be playing, all the stuff
Playing Star Wars.
Playing Star Wars. And then you're also going to be able. They have the excursion where you get to go down to Batu, and I don't know if they're going to close it down. I think they probably would close it down at that time to make it more immersive, because they really do want to make it immersive. And this is Disney realizing that the future of your parks are going to be these kind of experiences. Like, look at the Avengers Campus in LA at Disney Anaheim. It's like very augmented reality. There's like those little, droid bots or whatever. Yeah. And they realize that those are the experiences that fans are going to be looking forward to in the new age, the digital age, so to speak. Yeah. So it's like, I've been following this for a while. I so desperately want to go. As soon as more info becomes available, if you want in, I got other people.
I'm already in.
I will sit there. I will literally, I'll pull a Review Tech USA. I will show my titties on stream to raise the money to go. Like, you want to see these jiggly. I mean, I've already been humiliated. I'll do the truffle shuffle. I'm from Oregon, man. I grew up with Goonies and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can see my hernia scar and all that shit. Yeah, it's gonna be sexy. But that's what's going on with that. Though, let me quickly get to some super chats that I've actually missed, because we get to those here. Anyway, H Bart's here. It says Kevin Feige is secretly Zack Snyder and is going to sabotage the MCU. And sad fat Affleck is standing on his roof saying, "I'm Batman." Oh. Okay, I mean, thank you, H Bart's, on that one.
Dude, this guy's awesome, man. Listen.
Oh, H Bart's is great. And
I know he was just hanging out with Enosh for his birthday or something like that. I saw that on Twitter.
Enosh went over to his place. Enosh is great. I like Enosh quite a bit. Mike Oxlong here says Jarbo got too many Snyder bots in here. You know what? I like them. They're good people.
Is that you in the picture?
That is me. This is a picture of me. Yeah, my kid. My kid had a unicorn.
I wish I had dedication like this.
Oh, dude,
I'm not even a year old though, so
you have literally no idea.
Hey, listen,
you'll get there.
I'm only 9 months into this, so and we've done well thus far, but I need someone like these.
Look at that right there. Bend over. When are you showing up on Popcorn Planet? That's me, by the way. That is the Rule 34 of me. What you can't see is his hand.
What is this Rule 34?
Rule 34 means if something exists, there is porn of it.
Oh God, Jesus Christ.
That is Rule 34 of the internet, is that if something exists, there is porn of it. That is the rule. So somebody drew this. I mean, they're really flattering with like my beard line, to be honest with you.
Until you get porned.
Yeah, and then so the other hand is jerking me off. Like, it's me jerking myself off. And so it's like, but seriously, somebody took the time to draw me masturbating.
And then guess what? They didn't trace it.
And they didn't trace it as original creation. And they were pretty flattering, to be fair. You know what I mean? Like this look, I mean, like the hand is pretty meaty. The body of this version of me is very meaty. Yeah. And the penis fits in there very, it overpowers the hand.
Yeah.
So I'm like, thank you. Like you just basically were like, you just totally like made people think that I'm I'm a John Holmes looking motherfucker. So thank you for that. Anyway,
I love how Sil Abdul. So much truth being said about the motion comic. If anyone knows about Lightcast, it's Sil Abdul.
Oh yeah, totally. And then real quick, H Barts here says you missed some super chats as he sends a super chat.
A super chat to remind about super chats.
Yeah, thank you. It was we just got to talking, and as we're talking, I like to just keep it. I don't like to interrupt the conversation. I was seeing which super chats were there. If it was something related to it, I would bring it up. But
yes,
but anyway,
dude, listen. With the AR, right? The augmented reality theme park style. Listen, I mean, I went to Disney in Hollywood alone. I was out there visiting my cousin, who was an active Marine at the time, and he was on duty that day. So I took the train up to Hollywood, and I was like, you know what, fuck this, dude. I'm gonna go to Universal, and I went there alone, and the Harry Potter ride, it's the Transformers ride, those things that immerse you. I knew I'd never been on something like that, and I knew at that moment that those kind of things were the future of amusement, like parks, right? So the more immersive these things get, the more fun, the more people are going to go out and get to them. So I think I think these these new style theme park attractions, like the one that you just that you brought up, and the Avengers Campus, things like that, dude, are just gonna be like what other than going to see a film and like getting lost in the movie, like this is the coolest thing for a nerd, and
It really is.
I'm so excited.
And that's going to be a lot of what people are going after in the future. I mean, if you're going to spending the money to go to Disneyland, which is now $150 a day this time of year for one park, by the way, because I went 2 years ago to Galaxy's Edge and it cost me $150 for just the Disneyland ticket. Now, did I get my value for that $150 for the day I was there? Yeah, I think so. I do think so. I got to go to Galaxy's Edge. I rode the Millennium Falcon ride. I got to explore it to my heart's content. We did all my favorite rides, you know, and I hung out with my brother who I hadn't seen in a while. So that was really fun. And, you know, so yeah, but I think like something like this Galactic Star Cruiser is just the fucking first, dude. Like, could you imagine if Universal worked with Warner Brothers to create a hotel that was all Harry Potter themed?
It would be unreal.
I would have to go. I like Harry Potter. I'm not like super into Harry Potter, but I think I would have to go just for the experience of like,
I mean, at Universal, they have the like, in order to get to the ride, you have to stand in line in the castle, right?
Yeah.
Like in the Hogwarts, and just that alone was cool, right? Like it even made being in line, and if you know what being in line at an amusement park is, it sucks so much. That's why you always buy the fast pass. But honestly, like just even being in line in Hogwarts, like the stuff on the wall was all like decorated and inspired and, you know, like authentic. And if that was something in itself, I mean, and then there was like a cool thing at the end, like a ride that brings you back down to the bottom. Like those are the things that I live for, man. I love those experiences.
I really want to go to that Epic Universe, that the new expansion that Universal is doing, the 750 acre. They're building it right now in
Hollywood or in Orlando.
In Orlando. Oh, there's no space in Hollywood. My God.
I was gonna say.
No, there's literally no space in Hollywood for anything.
Yes.
You know, but
too many homeless people.
It's not just that. It's also you know, geographical limitations.
Yes.
Given where Universal Studios is and in the theme park and stuff. I was on the when I used to live there. I worked with the Scriptwriters Network. It was a nonprofit that somehow I found myself on the board of directors as their social media director. Like I literally just got like brought into this like, you know, this nonprofit as a board member.
Yeah. And
so we'd go to Universal once a month.
Okay.
On the back lot, they had a meeting room there. We'd go, and one time I'm walking on there, and the tour, the behind, you know, the back lot tour was coming around, and people see me walking, and you know, I mean, from a distance, fat, rotund, bearded fella, right? Might be look, you know, with shorts and flip flops walking through LA. Might be looking a little bit like the Kevin Smith. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got the Kevin.
Like I had a bit that Kevin Smith look going on. I did back then a lot more because I was a little heavier. And so it's at that point in time, they looked at me and they kind of pulled up their cameras and I was like, "Hey, what's going on, everyone? How y'all doing?"
You played into it, man.
I did a little bit. Yeah, I did. I leaned in a little bit, and everyone's like, so there might be someone out there saying like, "I saw the Kevin Smith walk around Universal backlot."
Yeah,
like, it's gonna be
really
fake Kevin Smith.
And
and then later on, when I'm super famous, they're gonna be like, "Wow, look at that fat piece of shit." Did you guys hear what he did with a polar bear? Anyway, and that gets brought up all the time. Anyway, okay, so HBart's here, $2 says family. That's actually a great segue because there's something here I wanted to bring up.
Is it about Fast and the Furious?
There's a couple things. Yeah, I did prep for tonight. Okay. Yeah, I want to bring up this this whole thing with The Rock and Vin. A lot of people, you know, talking about the fact that The Rock is saying now that he won't be in Fast and Furious 10 and 11 is one of the things that was said today in this interview that came out from the Hollywood Reporter, and I got it right here, where they were talking about Johnson being absent from F9, and you know, he says here, or talking about the Vin Diesel comment, because Vin Diesel implied that a much publicized feud between him and Johnson was actually a technique he deployed to elicit a better acting performance from the former pro wrestler. Saying here, "I could give a lot of tough love," Diesel said, "not Fellini-esque, but I would do anything I have to in order to get performances in anything I'm producing. Now, I was curious what the hell Fellini-esque meant, because
Yeah,
I've
I
never
don't-
heard of it before.
I've
So I found it here. The definition is that it is like often specifically meaning fantastic, bizarre, lavish, or extravagant.
Okay.
So like that's kind of the, you know, like over the top. He won't go over the top to get the response that he's after. But Johnson does say here, he says, I laughed and laughed hard. I think everyone had a laugh at that, and I'll leave it at that. And that I've wished them well. I wish them well on Fast 9, and I wish them the best of luck on Fast 10 and Fast 11 and the rest of the Fast and Furious movies they do that will be without me.
Oh, geez.
And then Blunt here chimed in and said, just thank God he was there. Thank God he carried you through all that. Fellini-esque, Johnson says. So it's, you know, like a lot of people.
Whoa, one second. Blunt can't resist extending the moment. Just thank God he was there, she says of Vin Diesel. Thank God he carried you through that. So she's making fun of it.
She's making fun of Vin Diesel. Yeah. She's making fun of,
okay.
Yeah. She's making fun of it. And then The Rock is like, at the end there, he says Fellini-esque. And a lot of people, you know, like have been saying, oh, well, Vin Diesel trying to, you know, like trying to get The Rock to act better. That's a laugh. Like, dude, Vin Diesel, this is his baby. This is the thing. This is his baby.
This is literally his thing.
Yeah, this and Riddick is his career highlights are this.
Yes.
This is a multi-billion-dollar franchise. And yes, while The Rock joined and the movies did do well, you know, the first Fast and Furious movie to hit $1 billion was Fast and Furious 7. The Rock was literally only in it for like 10 minutes. And a lot of people did, you know, it was there, I think, for Paul Walker was a big factor.
I think that was the biggest factor.
That was the biggest factor. And then Fast 9 to see how they pulled it off without him, but it still crossed over the $1 billion mark. And The Rock did have a much larger part in that. And we got Hobbs and Shaw. But Hobbs and Shaw failed to deliver in the way that Universal wanted it to. And if you look, and I've brought this up the other night as well, if you look at The Rock's individual non-ensemble movies and non-sequel movies that he's been a part of, he can barely crack the 400 million mark. And that is something that's a very interesting factor. Now, The Rock is the highest paid entertainer in Hollywood. And he is probably the world's greatest entertainer overall. I will grant him that without question.
Okay.
But when it comes to him being a movie star, yeah, he leads movies, but these movies that he leads that aren't backed up by a solid ensemble of other people generally don't tend to do that well.
Yes.
And he jumps from franchise to franchise to franchise while he's trying to find something that is going to put him to that next level. You know, like the Jumanji movies have probably done the best because he is the lead of those, but it's still an ensemble. Kevin Hart's a big draw.
Without the other people,
that
movie doesn't do well.
It doesn't. Yeah, Jack Black specifically, that's a
literally
big one.
kills it.
Yeah. And so they're going to do a third one, but we don't know when they're going to do it. And I've said this now too. I'm like, Black Adam, as far as a character goes, in the average person does not know who Black Adam is. No. And if it doesn't have any tie to Superman or any tie to Shazam, which is already a previously established film franchise and character on that front, people are going to go, who the fuck is Black Adam?
Yes.
And so when he's out there saying like, you know, the hierarchy of the DC universe will change, and he's doing all of this, you know, over the top, hyperbolic, Rock-esque, you know, approach to things that he does, I'm like, look, dude, if you're already bailing out of Fast 10 and Fast 11 and you've been in it since Fast 5 and you have your own spinoff, but you're basically like, I'm not going to go and do these movies now. Mm-hmm. Like, what the fuck does that say about you? Like, it just shows me that you're an opportunist and you're looking to just follow whatever's going to get you the most money. And again, I can't really fault him for that because that's his business. And he's got other businesses like the tequila and a few other things that he does. And so he's a very smart businessman and he's backed up by very smart people.
Yes.
But like when you, and that's a very intelligent thing to do. And I don't fault him on any of that, but it's like the way I look at it is I kind of just lose, I don't know. I just lose a little bit of respect for him on that front. Cause I'm like, the beef between him and Vin Diesel was effectively squashed. Vin did make that comment.
Do you think it was ever real?
Yeah, I do think it was real because in Fast and Furious 9, they did not share. Here's it. I think
this is the report. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, well, they didn't share any screen time together on Fast and Furious 9. There was one shot where it was like Vin's stunt double and the shot was over the shoulder, but
Yeah.
it wasn't them face to face at all. And the thing was, I do think back then that beef was legit. I think now, I think the beef, this could be manufactured for hyperbole in order to drum up headlines.
Kind of like the Tom Holland stuff where
Maybe,
he
yeah. Except I think
where he spoils everything, and dude, or you know how Marvel, like there's this whole like thing with Marvel employees where they spoil projects, right? I'm telling you 100% that Tom Holland has not, maybe the first time, maybe that was a mistake. The second time, you do not work for Marvel anymore if you give up trade secrets.
Well,
or
the chick
like that.
The chick who played Cassie Lang in Endgame, the older version of Cassie Lang, Scott Lang's daughter.
Yeah.
She actually, when she got to Atlanta to film, she had posted on Instagram that she was in Atlanta. That she didn't post anything about Marvel Studios or about Endgame or nothing like that. The next day, Marvel, like one of their PR people came to her and was like, "Yeah, you got to take that down."
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, so they're very, and then lo and behold, Catherine Newton is replacing her in Ant-Man Quantumania. So they're getting rid of the actress, you know, that they had brought in for this one movie, and they're replacing her with somebody else. Not that it really matters, you know, Cassie Lang at this point, they're going to get someone bigger, obviously. But I mean, yeah, like on that front, you know, I think it's possible that this beef could be something that's going to lead into the two final films, like Hobbs versus Toretto could be a thing again. But in the movies, they're family. You know what I mean? So it's like, unless I haven't seen Fast 9 yet, I didn't even see Hobbs and Shaw, to be honest with you.
Dude, honestly, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw, or as I like to say, Cobbs and Slaw. Honestly, shut your brain off and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I had fun watching it. And you know what? I'll be honest, I had fun watching Fast 9 as well. I don't think these movies are great at all. If you're looking for like Nolan-esque twists, turns, and dialogue, you're not at the right place. But if you want to see some non-obeying the laws of physics,
well, there's superhero movies.
Yeah, they've become superhero films, and they've become, outlandish, and there might be space involved, and who knows? And I don't know. I just like I go in with an open mind, and you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna. Like I said, they're not Nolan films, but they're also not. What was that movie I was gonna refer to? The worst movie of all time. That was
The Room.
The Room.
I love The Room. I love it unironically, but there's way worse movies than The Room. Space Jam: A New Legacy comes to mind. It was a terrible movie. But
what about how much of a Warner Brothers commercial did you make?
Oh yeah, that was a joke I made. It was just an HBO Max commercial.
And LeBron, you cannot act, my friend.
No, and he was a dick like 90% of the movie too.
His kids, I felt bad for his son, and I got through 15 minutes and I turned it off. I couldn't. Once Don Cheadle once he announced his name was Al G Rhythm, I was out.
And they called him Ali G. They call him Ali G too.
I was out. I was gone.
But did you get to the part though where he says like that he's like algorithmic gold, right? Or like no, algorithmically speaking, he is the king when talking about LeBron. Whoever wrote that movie literally just unzipped LeBron James's fly and sucked him off for fucking 95 minutes. They just that's what that whole thing was like. Oh my God, LeBron, and there's no one greater than LeBron James. Let me just hold on. Let me tickle the balls and work the shaft. Oh no, just tap me on the head when you're going to come. As
soon as they announced this movie, I was like, this is a joke. Honestly, let's be real. The first one wasn't that great either, but it's iconic, right?
Yeah.
It's iconic in the sense that honestly, the first one was a PR stunt as well. It was a PR stunt for Michael because at the time he was in fact playing baseball, and there's rumors that he didn't actually leave the NBA. It was that he was subtly or behind the scenes he was suspended, and he was asked to leave the league for a little while. And the movie was a way to get his name back. And there are stories, right? Call me Alex Jones, whatever. But there are some things about it that I think go a little bit further. But Space Jam 2 was the biggest disappointment. As soon as it was announced, I was like, this is going to be a joke. And of course, it was a joke. Don Cheadle, I'm so disappointed that you did that.
Yeah, I mean, considering that movie came out the day after he got his Emmy nomination for being in Falcon and Winter Soldier for 98 seconds.
For literally, I've said literally too many times, by the way, I could not believe they announced his name in that.
Yeah, I know,
category.
but
I was like,
but Isaiah Bradley, Carl Lumbly did not get nominated. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
That was the stupidest thing.
The guy, I'm a white dude from Boston, had me tearing up because I felt what it was like to be a black man for the first time.
And if you know what, you know what, that's, you own that statement, son. All right, you own that statement. Dude, I get it. I totally get it, man.
I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe how like I felt during his little sequence there, and nothing. But Don Cheadle for the whatever 98 seconds he was in gets an. I could not believe that. I couldn't believe that. Jesus, thank you for reminding me about that, by the way, because I forgot. Yeah. I knew I would miss something the other day, and that's what it was. That's what. That was a movie you should probably never watch. There are a couple quick super chats to get to, and then there's like the last topic I want to cover, which will be very quick, but I think it's gonna be fascinating. Real quick, your H-Bart's talking about. We're talking about The Rock. Says here that one guy was going off on you about Twitter about that. This guy named Gahul, he's been every time I mention The Rock, he always gets obsessed with me. Oh, The Rock.
The Rock, and like, because I said he's not a movie star, and Gahul was like, I want to debate you on this, and I don't think he's a bad guy, but he's like super obsessive over it, to the point of where he started just DMing me like random video clips like 10 times a day, and then I finally blocked him and unblocked him so he can't send me messages anymore, and then he went to a secondary account and was then trying to send me more messages, and I just blocked the secondary account.
Dude, where do you find all these obsessive people? Because I need some of them.
Yeah, they'll get there eventually. You'll get there. And then Benson here with £5. Thank you, man. Says, so the deal here, the deal is announced in the Snyderverse. Klinger Dawson, nerdy anyways, says, so they will film Justice League 2 and 3 in 2023, 2024. Why can't they let it go? Great news for Zack. I mean, Dawson.
I don't understand this statement at all.
So okay, so what he's I
think this is a troll. No,
this guy, no. Mark is a troll. He watches a lot of these guys, but a lot of people, like, as much as I like Enosh and that crew, you say, hey, look, the Snyderverse probably isn't happening, and
they freak out.
And they kind of freak out, and then there's always that met with that, well, you don't know what you don't know sort of thing, and or in Enosh's case. Like, it's just a lot of pushback. And I'm like, but Zack has said all of these things, and Warner Brothers has kind of backed that up by not saying anything. So now everyone's like moving it over to David Zaslav, and it's always moving the goalposts and bargaining.
It's always the next thing. And
it's always the next thing.
Honestly, there's been a lot. It's worked out somehow that it's like just when it's maybe kind of like going away, something happens to spark it back up, and
it's going to get real bad when Suicide Squad comes out.
The dominoes keep falling. Right now, the Snyder Cut came out, a couple months went by, nothing. People were pissed that the numbers didn't get released, but the talks were going down, and then the Warner Discovery merger, boom, right back up. Right, so like it's like sometimes it's just like, I don't know. It's like they're literally, I mean, they're at the end of the wick here, right? So yeah. If this Discovery thing doesn't do it, then it's really truly like there's got to be a day. There's going to be a day, one faithful day, and I've said this on my own streams, and like I said, I'm a huge Snyder fan. I've been a Snyder fan since a long time ago, since before 300 actually. Since Dawn of the Dead. It is one of my first movies that I saw as a, in the movie theaters without my mother.
Yeah.
And there was always gonna be a day that Zack Snyder no longer directed DC movies, right? There was going to be a day where we had to accept the fact that Zack was no longer in charge or making DC movies. Yes, it happened in a way that was not so cool, right? But it's like, dude, if you got mistreated at work, if you got treated the way Zack was treated by Warner Brothers and the people involved on set every single day, that would be like me telling you, if you got abused emotionally in other ways at your job, that you needed to go back and work there because you make the best burger. Who am I to say that? Like what? That's not my place, right? Like,
Yeah.
He was the one that was abused. Who, I know he said it. Listen, I know Zack said, I would love to make more movies, but really, would he like to go back to Warner Brothers and make movies with them again? I would say no. I wouldn't want to go back there.
No, he just got a 2-year first look deal. One of his movies is already one of the biggest ones on Netflix. He's got another one that's coming. He's got 2 animated shows, a prequel movie, another feature film, and now he'll be able to adapt more things that are original. Because even Deborah said in that interview that they've been doing comic book stuff. For me, look, unless there's like an act of God, essentially, but I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. But we did get Saggy Melons came on in. And I do have one more person in the back, but I'm kind of holding him till the end. I know, Ryan, you're back there. Ryan, last night, I gave him my ticket to go see the Dune extended preview in IMAX in Seattle tonight. Because of my hernia, I wasn't able to attend.
Boo.
And so I know. So he went and he got in, and he was gonna tell us about it here. So we'll do that towards the end. The last thing I want to quickly use. Hold on, a couple super chats. Command Unit 15 shekels. Thank you, Command Unit. Says I support
God.
No, those are actual. That's an actual
thing.
That's an actual thing. I know. We said the same thing the other night. He says, I support making Wasp the new leader of the Avengers because in the comics, she originally gave the name to the Avengers. That I'm sure Evangeline Lilly will probably stick around for quite some time. She hasn't done much else other than the Marvel stuff. I mean, honestly, it's a steady paycheck. Why would you stop? And it's probably more money than she made on Lost.
Huge after Lost.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Blow up. Her and
Sawyer?
Well, no, Sawyer, dude. It's a fucking shame that Colony got canceled. I thought Colony was a fantastic show, and that it got canceled really ticked me off, right? Because it also had my friend Kim Rhodes in it, and that pissed me off. And
I know him from Sons of Anarchy.
Yes.
No.
No, wait. I'm thinking of this. I'm thinking of the wrong person. Wrong person. I'm sorry.
Kim Rhodes is she was in Supernatural. She was
okay.
She was the sheriff Jody
Supernatural
Mills.
again. Yep.
Oh, okay. I've never watched Supernatural.
Well,
So
Wow.
Listen, we're not here. That's not what we're here for tonight.
But we're not having that conversation right now.
Yeah,
because I don't want.
Yeah,
I have seen a couple episodes, but it never
okay.
really.
Listen.
Yeah. The slash fic stuff was really. I did see the slash fic episode.
Yeah, and it's good.
That was funny. I laughed at that because I'm like, well, they're embracing internet humor, which I think is one of the reasons why The Boys is so good.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back on.
Well, that's where I was going with that, and now I can't remember where we were going with it.
Sorry. Well, let me. While you think about that, we got a couple here from HBarts here, saying 2080 Zack is long dead. There's restoring guys. So once Zack has passed away, then they'll restore the Snyderverse. And then HBarts here for another $2. Says Taiwan is not a country. China number 1. Jesus Christ. That's a LeBron James reference, by the way, because of the whole China situation. Thank you very much for that.
John Cena.
No, LeBron too. It was not only was it John, because when the whole Hong Kong revolution happened, LeBron was didn't say a word about it because they work with they work with whatever the hell it's called. The NBA is big in China. So the NBA basically circled their wagons, closed it all down, and they're like, don't say a thing about China.
Dude.
Holy fuck, dude.
I was just going to say, dude, come on, man. I got to get the fuck, man.
Jesus. Elmo.
It must
Oh
be
my-
nice.
I gotta start coming on here more often. and plug myself, man.
Elmo has been very, very generous this week. Thank you, Elmo. Thank you,
Does
everybody.
he know what you do with puppets?
I don't know if Elmo knows what you know what, that is also Times Square Elmo. And you know what? That dude's straight up pimp anyway. So
Hell yeah, baby.
there we go on that one. He's a degenerate. He's a degenerate. my God, Elmo's back.
He's
All right.
making good money. He could spend 100.
Dude, I'll tell. Oh, the other night, I'll say this. The other night, we were joking around about like a competition between HBarts and Elmo, and I was like kind of playing them against each other, and then they each dropped like $100.
You're so toxic.
As
You're
well,
so toxic,
as well
Carbo.
as Shiny dropped $100 in like a 3-minute period. Blew my mind. It broke my brain. I broke my brain. I have the fans.
guys.
I wish
The
I had
fans
those
of the
kind
show are amazing. Best fans on the internet. You guys, I can't do a Trump, but you guys are
I know.
amazing.
I got a couple of people on the channel that can do it so well, and like I've been trying to get them to teach me, but it's not something that's teachable. Apparently,
It's not. Yeah, I can't do it very well.
It comes naturally or something. I don't know what it is, but it's amazing to me. It really is. Yeah, listen, hey, I'm raising money for breast cancer. If anyone wants to help out, by the way.
Yeah, Ty is raising money for breast cancer, which is a very
My
important.
boobies?
Because I lost my mother to it, and trying to help women, local women in the Boston area who can't pay for things that they do need that aren't covered by insurance and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, so he's doing the nice charitable thing.
Yes.
And it's something you should absolutely go and check out. That's one of the reasons why Ty is one of the greatest on YouTube, because he's doing it. Nice. I really appreciate what you're doing, by the way. Because I like to, because when I do charitable stuff, I generally tend to try to raise money for a local child care action council, which helps children with like literacy. And so like, I know you can always do like, like Red Cross or St. Jude, and those guys get millions of dollars a year, but like so many of the smaller charities could use it as well. Yeah. And so
that's why we took it upon ourselves.
That's very good.
We want to do the tribute foundation in my mother's name. So it's a process to like get made, and you have to get authenticated by the whatever commission. My sister's handling most of the logistical parts of it, but we're doing the promotion part. So it would really help me, or it'd really help us, and it would mean a lot to me.
Yeah,
that's not why I'm here.
Well, you are a mod, so you can post your channel in the chat. I made you a mod. So you can post your link in there and let people go and check it out. Ty streams all the time. No, he's not lazy, Zack.
No, you're lazy.
There's that. That's obvious. That's completely obvious that I'm lazy. Thank you. How's your Apex Legends? You're clearly playing right now because I can hear the controller in it, and you're fucking up my show.
I was playing Fox and Forest, and I stopped because I realized
wait. Hold on. You're playing like, you're getting ready for the Amico. You should just give me your money. It'd be a better investment.
Yeah. What do I get for giving you my money? Please tell me.
The truffle shuffle, baby.
Yeah, the truffle shuffle. We gotta get to Florida. Ty and I are gonna go to Florida to go to Star Wars Galaxy's Galactic Cars.
Are you trying to take my money? Is that what's happening? You're trying to take my money
so we can go on vacation.
We're all gonna go to Florida.
Yeah, we're all gonna go to Florida.
And
am I going?
Yeah, if you pitch in.
Sure, okay. It's like $3,300 somewhere in there.
Yeah, so we're all gonna go.
Yeah, we're all gonna figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ty and I kind of agreed we're all gonna suck a lot of dick. It's just gonna be a real thing, and it's gonna, gonna help us get there. It's just gonna be blowing cross country.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute.
I will blow myself across country.
Pause.
Or for me, it's not cross country. It's I listen. I get a lot less than Jarbo's gonna go through.
Pause.
I'm in Boston
because you live closer. I'm literally diagonal.
Hey
Meg, what's going on? I didn't know you were here.
Speaking of beautiful people,
right?
I think this is like the first time Meg has said anything in my chat. So
hi Meg, I'm waving. You can't see me, but I'm waving vigorously.
I love her Instagram. She got her shots.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Listen.
Down boy.
No,
she put some water on it.
All of her content, all of her everything. I'm taken. All right, so relax. But everything that Wonder Meg does, everyone should support. That woman is
Well, that's a no-brainer.
a genius.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. Everyone should support Wonder
Oh,
Meg.
I
She's
just
awesome.
ignore you. I'm sorry.
Wow, you ignore
thought
Meg?
I tried to get the people. I must have missed you. I do apologize, Meg. That's my bad.
What kind of crap are you? I can't.
Eat me, okay? Like, I do this nightly. I make mistakes. I'm only human.
You're
all right?
old. That's what it is. You're
I am old. That is true. I'm getting up there. But okay, so let's move into probably like the spiciest story of the night. Never mind,
There's
even
no
my thumbnail.
way.
Oh, I got a spicier one.
There's no way it's more spicy.
Oh, I got a spicier one.
Challenged.
Leslie Grace cast as Batgirl.
Who?
This is well, for one,
She was in Into the Heights. The only reason she got cast.
She got Into the Heights, and I was really kind of curious about this because a lot of people are like, wait a minute here, that doesn't look anything like Barbara Gordon, kind of like also.
Did you see the Titans trailer? Titans season 3.
I saw that Barbara Gordon was Oracle in a chair.
Yeah, well, she's Commissioner Gordon at this point.
Oh,
right?
sorry.
So she's moved past Oracle, but she doesn't even look the part. So
Yeah.
it's like both are really kind of too politically correct for me. I don't know.
Do people forget cosplay exists? Like, you can look like
cosplay isn't canon. I'm just gonna say it. All right,
but I'm
cosplay isn't
saying,
canon.
You could literally just have her have the red hair and the blue eyes with contacts, and there you go.
Yeah, I think listen, with this girl, Leslie Grace. Look, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think we owe it to ourselves to give her a shot, right?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
However, I don't know. Was it a political move? Is everything PC nowadays? Is that
well? I actually can. So here's the thing with that. I did a little bit of digging into it, and I might have an idea. I don't want to say this is an absolute theory, or it's a theory. I don't want to say it's fact, but there is a demographic change within elements of the DCEU in regards to female casting. And believe it or not, actually, there was I think it was this one here. This is a question, right, that Heroic Hollywood posted earlier. Who is Leslie Grace's Commissioner Gordon in Batgirl? Is it going to be Jeffrey Wright? Is it going to be J.K. Simmons? Is it going to be somebody else? Because Leslie Grace is Dominican.
Interesting.
She's Dominican, so I could see her being Jim Gordon's daughter, because I think Jeffrey Wright is also, because in the first movie I saw Jeffrey Wright in was 2000 Shaft, and I think he played.
He was in Shaft.
Yeah, he was, right. He does, and he was a good bad guy in that movie too. I love Jeffrey Wright, and he was a good bad guy in that movie. Also, Christian Bale was in that film. It was John Singleton directed it. You guys should really go check out Shaft 2000 if you haven't seen it. But I think he was a Dominican in that. And so I could be wrong, but she could play his daughter. That would make sense. But then there's also this right here that Heroic Hollywood put out there that I thought was very fascinating. And they said the future of DC is Latina, showing obviously, Leslie Grace as Batgirl, and then you've got Rachel Zegler as the new character in Shazam. I don't think we know who she's playing yet. And then you've got Sasha Calle as
local girl,
as Supergirl. So it's like, okay, so if the future of DC is Latina, the question then kind of becomes why?
Yes.
And now again, a lot of people out there, they might go, oh, I'm like, look, I'm not against any of this casting. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. But one of the things that I've noticed, especially when I've worked at theaters as long as I have, is that there's been a demographic shift in regards to who is the predominant or who is the rising predominant audience that goes and sees movies in theaters. All right. And that is still largely Caucasian, but over the last couple of years, we've seen a massive increase in Latinos, with Asians are close behind.
Okay.
And so this is an article from 2018 on Variety talking about Latinos have the highest movie growing rate in the US, and that's still a continuing trend 3 years later. And they also brought up this per capita attendance by ethnicity, and we can start seeing here that Caucasian is actually dropping. Latino, Hispanic Latino is rising 4.5, Asians 4.3, other 4.2. I'm not too sure, what that necessarily is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then even African American / Black is down to 3.4. And so if this is the demographic shift and Hispanic, Latino, and Asians are the ones that are now predominantly the largest movie-going audiences in the United States, then doesn't that seem to make the most amount of sense that they would start casting for those particular roles?
So it's a targeted move.
It is. Yeah, I would argue it's a very business-driven move, but I would still say that they probably went and found the best that they could find for those roles, because look at the announcements yesterday. They said it was going to be like Zoe Deutsch, Leah Thompson's daughter, and there was like another couple girls that were basically very white passing, and they went with the one that like no one thought it was going to be. When the reports came out yesterday, no one thought that it was going to be Leslie Grace. They thought probably it was going to be Zoe Deutsch, or because she kind of fits that role that we know of. And so this is kind of a surprise casting announcement. And as I said on Twitter, certain people are going to be real pissed off. And I know that we're going to get a lot of DCU comments or whatever.
Oh my
right?
God.
Like, well, because they say the MCU now, and they're all
So woke.
Yeah, it's so woke.
By the way, does nobody remember Eartha Kitt played Catwoman? Like, she was a black woman who played Catwoman, and nobody talks about that. So why can't there be other races that play some minor characters?
Okay. Here's my argument with this, right? The even gender swap or racial swaps, it's okay in certain circumstances. I will agree. For certain characters, I can't get behind it. For instance, Commissioner Gordon, right? I love Jeffrey Wright. I don't think switching Commissioner Gordon to a black guy, I don't think, like, I didn't like that. It didn't strike me.
It didn't do it for you.
Yes, it didn't. I think J.K. Simmons was a great casting. I just think that there could have been a better, more original approach that we can do, and we can create more characters to be represented the way that they're supposed to be represented. We don't have to change Superman to a black guy just to be woke. We can create new characters. It's a comic book world where all of them are fake people, right? We can create more and we can get representation that way, right? Because that's what comic books and stuff like that are for, is to keep revolutionizing, keep creating and changing, right? So we can create new things and create new characters, and instead of just taking old ones and making them black and doing that, which are clear political moves, why can't we create a Latina superhero? Why can't we create another black commissioner? Right? Like, I fall into a weird category here.
I think what you're trying to say is, like, you're not against the casting, but you're like, you would rather them do something different.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Yes and no, right? So I understand that if the only reason why they're changing the race of Batman or whatever, and now he's played by a black dude, if they're doing it for the sake of, well, we need to have diversity, it's like, but nobody's asking you to. However, if it was happened that everyone who auditioned was garbage, that all the actors they had in the past are too old to play the role, and the best candidate for it happened to be a black person or Latino, then cool. If that's what happened, fine. But if you're doing it for the sake of just doing it because you're trying to be diverse and inclusive, then yes, everything else you said I agree with. But at the same time, a Latina playing Batgirl is not that huge of a deal for me, because number one, Latinas can vary from light to dark, right? So she's a little bit of a light-skinned Latina. So she could just like when everyone was upset about that girl Sasha playing Superwoman. She's very light-skinned. She could pass and I'm gonna say pass because she can pass for the look. All you have to do is do the hair, do the contacts. You can make them look. It doesn't matter what their ethnicity is if they can act and they can look.
But isn't that going against everything?
No.
If you make them look Caucasian, isn't that the opposite of what you want?
No. It's not even if they look Caucasian. It's more like if they look the part. Like look at Starfire in Titans,
which I think she does tremendous.
Right,
and
but
because she's green or whatever in the
but
comic.
But she's not orange, right? She's a black chick, but
or
it still works.
Whatever she was.
Right, but they still make it work. And everybody was skeptical of it at first, and I hear everyone saying, "Okay, she's not as bad
because
as we
the
thought."
costume looked terrible in the initial marketing.
Right, exactly. But then what I'm saying is overall, if they're casting these actors who are best qualified for the role, then that's fine. I'm not going to be mad at it. But if they're doing it for the sake of we just need a black person, like we just need to fill that quota, then no, obviously I have a problem with it. But if that's not the case, then I don't care. And a Latina playing Batgirl doesn't bother me because, again, all you got to do is Latinas have red hair. Have you not seen a Latino with red hair? I know you've seen a Latino with red hair, and some Latinas have natural blue eyes, and even if they don't, you can give them context. She can look like Barbara Gordon. If cosplay is pretty much the same thing. Anybody can cosplay as a character as long as the costume's right. You can try look the part. Hello, women, we wear makeup to transform ourselves into completely different people all the time.
Yep. Go to bed with a 10, wake up with a 5.
Exactly. So I mean,
Jesus.
I mean, overall, like I said,
Like the old Coyote Ugly adage, you know what I mean?
Like
It's like, I'd rather chew off my arm than wake her up.
Right, and if she was the best candidate to play Batgirl, then that's just what it is.
Hey, whatever. I got nothing. Because anything that I say here is I'm just
H Bar here says I'm Latino, and I'm like bruh, and that's I mean. Like, I get that. I get there are people out there who do look at this as kind of like, like it is the tokenization of the characters and the casting. I look at it like, just if it's a good actor and it's a good story, I'm cool with it. Like, let's see where it goes before we jump on this kind of stuff. I just think that it's like, would like Jane Levy, whatever, from Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, like maybe be a more comic accurate Batgirl? Yeah, she totally would, but at the same time, it's like, they clearly have a vision in mind. We don't know what that vision is just yet, but I do feel that they are trying to appeal to a demographic that is the one that is going to see these movies.
Yeah, and listen, as long as J.K. Simmons' wife is Latina, and hey, look,
but do you think
interracial marriage? I love it.
Yeah, there we go. That's only going to piss off a small portion.
No, here's the thing. I have to disagree with you, Jarbo, because I don't think any one of these ethnicities are going to go, oh my God, oh Luis, we finally got a Latina as a bad girl. Like nobody's thinking like that. Nobody's thinking that. Just like black people aren't going to rush to the movie theater to see a black Superman. We're not. We rushed to the theater to see Black Widow.
They did for Black Widow. Or Black Panther, not Black Widow.
No shit, because Black Panther's a black superhero. No shit.
Plus, it was a good fucking movie. It was a great movie.
It was not a good movie.
It was a good movie. It was like Lion King in live action. It was better than Lion King in live action. It was a fine movie. I liked
the
Black
CGI
Panther.
was a mess. The best part of it was its villain.
Yeah, I thought the Killmonger was awesome.
Tyler,
he was the best part of the movie.
You literally just said, what did you say earlier? Make the movies make the characters that represent people properly. Black Panther is one of those characters. Of course, they're excited to see Black Panther on live the action screen because that's a character that represents black people because he's from Africa. Of course, they were going to be excited for it. But you change Superman to black. We're not rushing to theaters. I've talked to so many.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Okay. So because Superman is not a traditional black character, they're not going to go see it.
But he could be. I mean, there are again,
the multiverse. It's all the multiverse. Who knows? At this point, it's all the multiverse. Yeah.
Listen, most people of color that I've spoke to about this, they all say the same thing. We don't want a black Superman. Thank you, but we're good. You don't have to do this for us because we also understand that doing these things hurts us. Yeah. It hurts us because look at what we're talking about. Like people don't like the woke culture and stuff, and then you have people arguing, well, those people are racist, but it makes a divide. And it's not helping us to have the representation that they're trying to force down our throats. It's more like if you want to represent each culture Start taking the characters that exist, that represent us, and make those projects a reality. That's all you have to do. Like, there are
Well,
characters.
I think they're
Marvel.
afraid of that. I think they're afraid of that because, well, Marvel will do well, I think, with Disney
Yeah.
Plus shows.
Ms. Marvel,
Yeah.
I mean, they're listen, Kamala Khan, her comic run when it initially debuted blew the fuck up, right? People were loving it. I'm surprised it took this long for this project to be greenlit, but I do think Disney Plus is the perfect place to put it. I'm telling you that's going to be a sleeper bomb. Not
Well, the
bomb
same- by the
as
way,
in a bad one. It's gonna,
yeah.
it's gonna murder.
The same guys who
numbers.
directed the Miss Marvel series are the same guys who are doing the Batgirl series,
Right.
Batgirl
But-
movie.
And
Just
This
as
is
a-
a- this is an HBO Max movie.
That is, it's an HBO Max movie. It's not going to be going to theaters, which means its budget will be significantly lower, probably somewhere in the 60 to 90 million range. And we just don't know where it's going to fit in regards to the pantheon of Batman. But I would argue at this point, it's not fucking Affleck. It's going to end up being Pattinson.
yeah.
It's going to be
Sadly-
Pattinson because they want to
sadly.
push Pattinson. They want to push all that stuff.
you
That's
guys
where
think-
they are with this.
All right. Well, do you think? Are you? I mean, are you looking? I don't think I've ever asked you this. Are you looking forward to Pattinson or Battinson?
Yeah.
I am. Listen,
Shut
I
up,
am.
Saggy.
Listen,
What are you doing?
Listen, I think Ben is on screen. I think, and you know, Richard and Ben, what they did with that character, was truly like pulled straight out of the book, right? I think Ben on screen, probably one of, if not the best Batman on screen. I do,
Yeah, I
simply
agree.
in my humble opinion. However, I am open to another interpretation, and I think the Pattinson Batman is going to be something we need to definitely not boycott, like what they're trying to do with the Flash, right? I'm all in favor of Pattinson right now.
Okay.
Well, for one, Michael, when has Matt Reeves really made a bad movie?
I want to address one comment, and then I'm gonna stunk on both of you. But real quick, real quick.
You're gonna stunk? You're gonna stunk on us?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Is that even a word?
That's how people from Quincy speak.
Oh, okay, okay.
But-
We're
Sorry.
from the same area, mind you. And,
Yeah.
and you can see the difference, right?
Is it a cultural thing?
Well, she's from Quincy. I'm from Somerville. We're two
I
different
don't-
people.
I don't know, but I don't know
Like Gotham and Metropolis.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
which one of you is poor?
That's a tough one. It depends on what part of the city.
Sorry,
you live in.
who is the more oppressed Bostonian in this conversation?
Probably me.
Probably.
I'm
I don't know.
gonna have to say it's probably Saggy.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
'cause Somerville has its nice parts. It's decent, but where I'm from, it's a lot of drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to say to Kay Burgess, we need new heroes. Do you know why you're not going to get new heroes of these proper representations? Because they can't bank on all of these new characters that nobody knows much about making money with the masses. Because yeah, Black Panther was successful because they introduced him the right way, and he was part of the original Avengers. So most people outside of just a culture thing, everyone knew who Black Panther was. So it was easy to show him in the thing and be like, okay, he's actually a decent character. They saw where how much people liked Black Panther, so that we can risk spending all that money to make a movie. They're not going to risk that spending a movie, making a movie on a character who's another character that nobody knows about. I don't think they would.
I will validate your point in saying that comic book sales are like the worst they've been in years
Yeah.
and years and years. So
Yeah.
it's hard to get any.
And we
character to
we
take
also
off
don't
right
know
now.
how digital sales are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't know that one. I will say this though.
I didn't get to
crap.
talk on you yet.
No, I know you want to dunk on me, and that's fine. I can mute your mic. But I'm just trying to remember the point you were making. I had a point I wanted to make to that. What were you saying again? Because we got distracted there.
I was saying that all these other unknown characters that are proper representations of different
right.
cultures weren't going to make them money.
Got it. Okay, let me push back on that one there. They can and they will, and Disney will prove it because look at the Miss Marvel thing. All right, like they're going to have to introduce a Muslim superhero into the pantheon of more or less white Christian superheroes, and that's going to be very interesting to some people out there who just don't like that diversity. But they're also going to end up having. They're going to introduce her on Disney Plus. As we've seen right now, these shows with established characters have blown the hell up. You know, and if Miss Marvel is well done, and that's going to be leading into, you know, Captain Marvel did $1 billion, so all the Captain Marvel fans are going to come over for this. WandaVision fans who liked Tiana Paris, the Monica Rambeau's character, they're going to come over to this for, you know, they want to see it, and then they're going to tie it into the Marvels movie coming out next year that they're filming right now. And, you know, so yeah, they're going to be able to lead into that, and that's how they're going to introduce these smaller characters. So when they start introducing these smaller characters through Disney Plus shows that are going to have considerable budgets, but they're going to be able to manage them a lot better for like the, you know, for putting out the content. That's where you're going to start seeing how these characters are going to make money, and they'll be able to more or less market test these characters on the smaller setting before bringing them up to the big leagues. So if they don't get something right, they can just scale that back, retool, put them back in the big leagues, and then make more money. So it's a very smart plan.
We'll see.
It's a very smart plan.
By the way, Robert Pattinson, no, I don't want Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Why? Haven't you seen him in the Lighthouse?
You probably were one of the ones who also didn't want Heath Ledger's Joker, though.
No, I did want Heath Ledger's Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker was amazing.
No one wanted it.
I did. Here's the thing. Well, first of all, I loved Heath Ledger before he was a Joker, so I was a fan. But anyways, the reason why I don't want Robert Pattinson is because, number one, I think he would make a much whatever Twilight dude. Anyways, so the reason why I don't like him as Batman is because, number one, I don't want another freaking Batman movie. Okay. Number two, I think he looks so much better as a future Batman, as in Batman Beyond or a Nightwing. I would love to see those stories because, again, I love Batman. Don't get me wrong, but for the fuck's sakes, can we please stop doing so many Batman and Superman movies? There are so many different stories in that universe to tell. If you're going to tell another Batman story, please do something as amazing as Batman Beyond, or at least do Nightwing. Have him be a focus, because there's so many, or even freaking Red Hood. Like, there's so many stories I'd love to see in live action. So that's why I'm not excited for this movie. I'm just not.
Imagine Pattinson was actually, again, imagine that Pattinson was actually Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, for Ben Affleck's. Like, the timeline worked itself out, and they did it somehow where it was that way. I think that would have been, and then that could have been cool. Like, that's how you bring in Michael Keaton.
Right.
I don't know. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
They could have done that would have been cool. That would have been awesome.
You could have started off with Ben Affleck as Batman, and then he's getting old, and then fast forward, now he's Michael Keaton old, and now you meet Terry McGinnis, who is Robert, and that would have been so freaking sick. And I know people argue with me all the time, like, oh, Saggy, you know, people Batman Beyond. It doesn't matter, dude. Batman Beyond was a phenomenal story. And you could have done so much with that work. So no, I'm sorry. I know everyone is excited about this new Batman movie, but I'm not. I'm tired of Batman movies. I am so tired of Batman movies.
You know what? I'll give you it. I'll give it to you.
I don't disagree with you. It's just in IP, theory, but I like Matt Reeves.
It brings us back to the literal one of the first things Jarvo and I talked about today. It comes down to money and greed,
right?
And that's it. It's the IP, the money, and the greed.
Money and fear. Money and fear. I think fear more than greed.
But they can make money off of this because, again, you have a bunch of people like me who are really just dry on Batman and Superman stories. How many times do we have to see their stupid origin stories? I've seen it so many times. I don't. Well,
this movie's not going to be an origin story.
And it doesn't matter if even if it was a direct origin story, it has the words Batman in the title. People are going.
Yeah,
that's Batman in the title.
Look, you've got Paul Dano as the Riddler, which looks fucking cool.
I like it.
You've got probably my favorite thing about it is Michael Giacchino is doing the score.
Right, but it's like, I don't want new stuff. But
Michael Giacchino is doing the score. Like, the score is awesome. Go watch that Pattinson costume review. That score is legit.
Jarbo, he could do the score in a new movie. Why does
he's done the score in a bunch of movies though?
Okay,
like, he's done a bunch of stuff.
But still, why it has to always be the same Batman?
It's not the same Batman. It's different.
It's the
Did you
same
not
Batman.
see his hair in this time around?
Oh
He's
my
like
God, his hair
Scene
is
Kid
fabulous.
Batman.
Oh
It's like
God.
2006.
Batman, yeah.
He's like
Oh,
emo
God.
Batman. Yeah,
I know.
it's like they transferred it back to 2006. You know,
Oh
And he's
my
listening to
God.
Green Day in the Batcave and everything.
nah, he'd be
No.
more of a Jimmy Eat World kind of guy. I think.
All right. Jimmy World, okay.
You know, but
I
he could
see
do
that.
he could do a little bit of Dookie. I could see some Dookie rocking out
What?
there. You know,
Here's the
Someone
thing.
says the Riddler looks sus. Look him,
Yeah.
dude. The
Rose-
Riddler looks
whatever, man.
badass, man.
Here's the thing,
Looks-
Roosevelt, you're right. Regular people might not know Batman, what Batman Beyond is, because it was way back in the day. However, I think it's still a story that could be told in today's generation, and people would absolutely love it.
People didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were until James Gunn brought them on the map.
Exactly.
Or
Nobody
Iron
knew.
Man.
Right.
Honestly, general audiences didn't know who Iron Man was. It's all about who you cast. In that circumstance, with a character that, say you want to do a character justice, it really does become who you cast. Because for Iron Man, they needed to cast someone who would bring asses to seats. And Robert Downey Jr. was the person. It could have
He
been
was
Tom
a risk,
Cruise.
though. It was a risk with him.
It was
though.
100% a risk, and it panned out. It could have been
'cause
Tom
he wasn't even.
Cruise, but
It could have been, but even Downey Jr. wasn't the highest paid actor on that movie. Terrence Howard
was. And look how that went, you know? And
Yeah,
then,
well, Ego's a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
then
Like,
Don Cheadle did a good role.
yeah, I love Don Cheadle, just not in Space Jam. He's just
I liked him
terrible
in Space Jam. He was
Oh
great
my
in Space
God.
Are
Jam.
you kidding me? Your
He
opinion
was
now
the
on
only-
everything is
He was the
invalid.
only part of that movie that was good.
Algorithmically speaking, he's the king. Oh, shut
He
the fuck.
was the only one that
All
was
right.
in that movie that was good.
No,
You
that
cannot
was
compare
fucking
to
terrible.
whatever, Jarbo. You're just a hater.
No, I'm not a hater, but I do need to get to some of these super chats here real quick here. Benson, £5. Thank you, sir. Says, Matt, I switched to you because you tell it straight. Last night was the final straw with the others still peddling the Snyderverse will return crap. They're going to keep doing it, man. If you want sanity, you could hang out here. If you want fantasy, I could recommend some people. But that's their belief, that's their hope, that's their love, and that's their thing. But if you like my take on things, yeah, we can always fight the good fight in other ways, but at this point, I think we are where we are. But thank you for that. And then fourth here, Adam West Joker was Latino with a mustache, right? Cesar Romero, Eartha Kitt, before Julie Newmar took over.
Yeah.
So, and that's true. Yeah. I mean, I get all that, man. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with having the characters like that. We have to just wait and see how it plays out at this point. That's where I'm at with it. Hold on here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think, you know what sucks is I am more of a DC guy than I am a Marvel guy. But, and you know what? Honestly, I've been, before Black Widow's release, I went back and I watched a lot of the Marvel movies, right? Avengers 1 and 2, with the exception of 1, because obviously the iconic scene, right? Or the iconicness of like the first time seeing a team like that on screen together was just, pure gold.
Yeah.
Avengers 2 is not a good movie. The CGI is all over the place. Then I watched what the hell did I watch? Civil War, and realized that there are issues there that I could go into. I'm just saying Marvel's not perfect, but you know what the thing about Marvel is they always are very transparent with their fans, and they say, this is what we got coming, this is what we're doing, and we're doing it for you, right? We're doing it to literally entertain you, because that's what our job is, right? We don't make these movies for us, because without the audience, there's no reason to do it. Like, we need you. You're not shareholders, you're stakeholders in that company, right?
Yeah.
You directly control what is made and what's not made by your aspirations and desires, right? DC, it's like, we don't know what's up, down, to the left, to the right. There's no, like, at least when Zack Snyder was there, it was like we knew where the universe is going. Like, you knew what you were going to see if you went to any of his 3 films, with the exception of 2017, that debacle. But there was a clear direction they were going. And now it's just like, it's all over the place. Like, and it really disappoints me.
Well, and they're going to keep disappointing people because they don't have a plan. and they don't have a central leader. If it's Kevin, if it is Walter Hamada who is the one who is in charge, he's doing a piss poor job at managing the fan base. This is why someone has recommended this for Star Wars, and I think this is something DC should do as well. Hire a brand ambassador, kind of like a community manager for a gaming company, a person who can it's kind of like the public face of it, you know, like the person that fans can talk to or they can relate to, or that they can get their information from. Kind of like, you know, if you're a gamer, you have Major Nelson at Xbox. You know, he does a lot of PR stuff with Xbox. He's got a brand and a personality over there that's been around for years, decades even, and people love the guy. But he's who you go to if you want Xbox information, because he puts it out there. This is what these companies need. They need someone to kind of come out there and mitigate damage and navigate these times. And they just don't do it. They just, because maybe, you know what it is, maybe outside of social media, like no one ever really gives a shit. But honestly, a lot of this stuff does bleed over. It does bleed over, because I've gotten calls from friends who are not internet people, and they have heard things and they're like, what did I hear? Like, why am I hearing that this movie sucks? Like, you haven't even seen it yet. Yeah, I know, but someone on YouTube said it sucked, and that's what I'm hearing. It's like this stuff is moving to different places, you know? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we got fourth here. Says, I know Saggy wants to go off here, and let me just get to this, and Saggy, then you can.
I'm waiting.
All right. She's going to pop off apparently. So it says here, it's racist that studios don't take chances with original POC characters unless we are riding the coattails of white characters. And I think that's an argument to be made. I think that I understand that in regards to adaptation, kind of anything can happen because it is an adaptation. But I mean, you know, how many kids out there want something original? How many kids out there want to see themselves reflected in a character that is them, you know? And that's not just like taking somebody else and putting a fresh coat of paint. I don't know. It's a tough conversation because everyone's going to have an opinion, and it is one you have to navigate in a very specific way. Because if you don't, it ends up, you know, people are going to start really coming at you and accusing you of shit. So, I don't know, but anyway, okay. Saggy, feel free.
No, because I'm reading the chat and I see people saying my opinion's ridiculous or my opinion's wrong. And I'm sitting here like, bro, number one, opinions are subjective. So if you don't like my opinion, that is fine. That is your opinion and I respect it. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for having that opinion. But for you guys to tell me I'm wrong or my opinion's ridiculous is very hypocritical. And number two, I'm not saying that Robert Pattinson isn't going to be a great Batman. I'm just saying I don't want another Batman movie. I think Robert will probably do a really good job playing Batman. Never said he wasn't going to. However, again, me not wanting another Batman movie is my opinion and how I feel about something that I like. Not saying you guys have no right to like Batman or be excited for this. I joke when I give people a hard time about it. But aside from that, yeah, it's a joke. But overall, I do think he'll be a great Batman. It's just I think for him, because he has a good look and I think he would be able to do it justice, I would like to see him do other things. Now, again, my whole aspect of Space Jam 2, yes, I did say I did not like the movie. I didn't think it was needed as an adult. For a child, I think the movie's perfect for a child. It has all those kid-friendly, cool elements that kids will like. And yes, I think that Don was probably the best actor in that, despite Jarbo's detest of it. But that's what I mean. It's just an opinion. So if you guys are here, I'm not going to shit on your opinions. Probably don't shit on mine.
But it is
you
my
really
show.
Like Space Jam, though.
So
no, you can shit on mine.
Okay, because we're friends, I can do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We shit on each other all the time. It's all good. We totally two girls one cup each other all the time.
Oh my god, why did you go there?
I was like, I live close to her, but
like I could drop a Cleveland steamer right on her chest.
Anyway,
if I wake up with poop on my front door, I'm gonna know it's from Ty.
Anyway,
I'm a classy bitch.
Yeah. He makes sure,
sugar and spice and everything nice.
He poops in your shoe, but then he just leaves it sitting right there for you to see. Yes. Anyway,
no, I don't. I have no use for defecation because I am made of sugar and spice and everything nice.
Okay, there we go. Okay, Kim Jong-un. All right.
Okay, this is a very dark turn.
What? That I'm a Powerpuff Girl?
No, fucking that you don't shit, dude. Like that's one of the things he tells people in North Korea. Is like, oh, Kim Jong-un,
he says poop. That.
They say a lot there about him. Like he doesn't go to the bathroom. Him not going to the bathroom is something that is like the movie The Interview made fun of that because that is a real thing about Kim Jong-un. Is that he has
I
said
didn't know that.
he does not go to the bathroom because he works so hard that he doesn't have the need to ever go because his body uses every little atom of food he consumes, and he doesn't have to go pee pee or poo poo, which is a lie. It's a biological fallacy. But hold on, before I forget, HBarts did drop a super chat that unfortunately the chat scrolled way past where I could get to. But he says here, why does Hollywood hate redhead people? And now there's actually you can look up ginger eraser, and that's an actual thing. Like there are a lot of redheaded characters that have been not redhead portrayal, and so people out there are like, well, what's the hate of redheads? And it does seem to be this ongoing problem. Like Triss Marigold in The Witcher is a very an alabaster skin redhead. She's totally like, what you would expect like an Irish girl to look like with red hair and white skin. And she was, I forget the ethnicity of the actress, but she's not that, and that she was good in the role. And I liked her in the role in the show, but that was a big thing that came out at the time. A lot of people were upset. Halle Bailey as Ariel in the Little Mermaid remake, right? The live action remake that's coming from Disney next year. She is clearly, they put her in a red wig for the movie, but she's not red hair, blue eyes, white skin. So people, they're asking for, it's kind of similar in these regards. It's like these characters that comic, characters being race bent and gender bent and stuff. And then you see that also on the redhead side of things all the time. And never talks about it.
Well, the Ariel from Little Mermaid, the red hair, the red hair they gave her, that was her signature thing. But also I was putting the argument of black people in water for that long, their pigments actually get, light. So, I mean, it really wouldn't make biological sense for her to be that skin tone because water does turn your skin pretty white. So, I mean, if we want to get technical, but to be fair.
Oh, wow. You're going to so get canceled.
Well, it's true though. But technically speaking, if we really want to go back to the origin of the Little Mermaid, she didn't even look like a human at all. She was literally like a fish creature. So, I mean, if we really
if you want to go back to the original book, she dies in the end.
Right.
She becomes sea foam. She becomes sea foam at the end of the original story.
Right.
So it's all sorts of messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a thing with that one though. And again, these, as we discussed with the way the demographic breakdown is, I think since so many of these movies are made by committee and so many of them are what they determine to be 4-quadrant, which is basically for everybody, they're still going to play to the largest demographic in hopes of getting the most amount of cash. And that is literally probably why things are happening the way that they are. It's all a business decision. Nothing they do is ever for woke points. It's never to try to really change the game because they don't care. If all they care about is making money, all they care about is making money. That's it. Cyborg in the new Justice League could literally be an albino transgender furry. And if that was the demographic that was most likely to spend money to see these movies and buy the merchandise, they would probably end up going for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an extreme example, but
that's exactly what it is. It's all about what will make money, but I don't think they're understanding that people are they're gonna lose money because people are getting pissed. I don't understand. People are getting pissed.
The thing is, they're not losing any money yet because they still make money on these things. I mean, look at The Lion King was one of the laziest remakes of all time. I love Jon Favreau as a director, but The Lion King was it was a tech demo that gave us the tech that led into The Mandalorian. So that's the only reason why I'll accept it. But other than that, it was a lazy, soulless adaptation that didn't need to exist, and the thing made $1 billion and it was terrible. But why did it make $1 billion? Because Beyonce was Nala, and Beyonce had she had a track, and
and what was it? What the hell's his name? The other
Donald Glover was Simba, and he was good too.
I love him.
Yeah, he was great. I thought he was good in the role. I like John Oliver as Zazu, and Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar was awesome.
Ooh, great.
He was fantastic. The casting was good, right? But
I'm
Still just-
mad at that. I'm mad at that. I'm sorry.
What,
You brought
Seth
Scar up.
Rogen and Billy Eichner as
No,
Timon and
I'm
Pumbaa?
mad. The one song in The Lion King that I love the most, they changed it and they shortened it, and it wasn't even as good as the original. Freaking Be Prepared. That was the most bullshit thing. I was so mad. I was so mad. The original was so amazing. I saw it and I was very disappointed. I was like,
do you remember the original version?
Yeah, dude.
with the Nazi imagery.
Do you know? Yeah,
they could have changed that part, but still, they could have kept the song a little bit.
I think they wanted.
I
think they wanted to stay away from it. I think they wanted to stay away from it for that reason, though.
Probably a little bit of that.
It was direct. Hyenas were marching.
Yes, I know what they were doing. I got it, but I'm just saying they could have changed that scene and still kept the song but I just didn't like it. I wish it was better.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't. I almost left the theater. I've never, ever left a movie theater, no matter how bad a movie was. I stuck through Fantastic Flop the whole time. The remake of Fantastic Four. But
we call it Fan Four Stick.
Fan Stick. That's what we call it here. Okay. I almost left Lion King because I was horrified.
I watched it on Disney Plus and I could be on my phone during it. I was happy.
But
I will say this though, I didn't go see Aladdin.
And Aladdin was great.
I liked Aladdin a lot.
Will Smith did amazing as a genie.
He killed it. He did kill it in that role. Yeah.
Even though he couldn't sing, I still liked the song.
It's Will Smith. Will Smith could sit there and like remake like the Boy in Striped Pajamas or whatever, and I'd be like, okay.
Will Smith is my idol, actually. Like truly though, I swear to God. No. He's really but
like do you guys know what the Boy in the Striped Pajamas is? It's about the kids in the Holocaust.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
I'm just saying Will Smith can do anything, and I would watch it. Will Smith could play Schindler in a remake of Schindler's List, and I think people would go see it.
I would.
I
would. I
would question his choice.
No, it's like
I watch it. I love
imagine all the the awards.
And he is not a Scientologist. I don't care what anyone says.
No, he's not. He's not a Scientologist. No, but
people always like to try to make the
I thought he was.
No, people try to say he is. He's not.
They tried to do that. They tried to do that.
Tom Cruise is a Scientologist.
No, I know that, but I thought Will Smith was part of it too.
No, people made that claim, and they also said he was gay, and neither of those are true. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I would have never. Yeah, Will Smith is not gay.
Yeah, but
he slapped a dude who kissed him on the cheek.
I know.
Who cares if he's gay?
Oh, honey, that's what I'm saying. Listen, I'm saying there's nothing wrong with either. Although if you're a Scientologist, you should probably question your ways of life.
Well, I mean, look, most Scientology is performative, okay?
In what sense?
In the sense that most people are Scientologists because it helps get them work in Hollywood. And that's my take on it, at least.
Okay.
It's like, I mean,
we'll talk about that another time.
I don't know enough about this to have opinions.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand how the fundamentals.
You're not wrong. No, you're not
I understand
wrong.
how the fundamentals of the religion and how it uses coal. I know like an e-meter and what they do with all that shit. But what I'm saying is there's a lot of money in Scientology. You know what I mean? And so the people who they also, if you are in Scientology, you are relatively protected, and they will find work for you because you then bring money back in.
Exactly.
They'll do it. Look at Danny Masterson. Danny Masterson is facing rape charges, stemming back nearly 20 years, and the only reason why he's got the Church of Scientology behind him, and they're footing a lot of that. They're covering a lot of it, of that whole situation, and they're going to be digging into those three women to find anything that they can argue to win the case. And it's that's a whole mess, that's going to be a hell of a documentary when that thing comes out.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, anyway, we don't need to go down the process.
Well, how does that work though? Because Tom Cruise someone mentioned it. He is filming a movie that's in space next year. The next
Mission Impossible, I think, is going to be him and Doug Liman are doing a movie.
Yeah. So doesn't that directly don't they not believe in that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't know if when he gets up there, if he's expecting he's going to see a DC-8 with jet engines on it that are going to be dropping off souls in volcanoes,
right?
Or Xenu's going to pop up or nothing. The eternal battery.
I think it's a good time. This is a good time to announce the Church of Segi Saggy Melons, the Church of Saggy
Shaggy
Melons.
Melons. We named you
What?
Shaggy Melons
Yeah, I
last night.
noticed that. What the heck?
Yeah,
Shaggy Melons?
yeah. I think it was H-Barts who named you Shaggy Melons.
Yeah, listen,
Why?
don't get into the cult world, Saggy. It's not
Yeah,
somewhere you want to be.
They might have punch and pie, but it's really not worth it at the end.
Nope.
No, I have good punch
It
and
will
pie.
be the last.
No, there's no cyanide
That's what they all
in it.
say.
I promise there's no cyanide.
There's plenty of other
Maybe
poison.
Jarbo's piece. Maybe Jarbo's piece.
You just want to see my search history.
I do want to see a search history. I have to take you out to get it.
She wants to see my search history. She's not going to find anything there. It's going to be very weird.
I'm going to find stuff.
She's going to look in there. She's going to be like, "Oh, I
you know
knew
you
it."
can clear your browser history.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
No, I'm talking to her.
No,
You're not going to find anything.
I will find things in his computer that I'm sure I'll be like, oh.
All right.
She really thinks like that is going to be anyway. So I do have some super chats here to answer just because we have been talking.
I was only going to stay here for 30 minutes.
Yeah, you were like, I'm going to go for, it's been like,
I have an interview
in
like some hours. I have to be there at 12:30 my time. It's 3:41.
Yeah, you got.
Let's go.
So Mo Moon here, just $2. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that.
Love you.
Love you, Mo. Love you. We got Melissa Lord here. $2 says Batgirl's my fave, and she's a white redhead like MJ.
Woo.
Oh, okay. So she clearly isn't probably for the casting, or maybe not the best for it. I understand that, Melissa, that you have those feelings. Thank you for the super chat. And all right, we got Thomas Carroll here, Australian, $5 says 10 years. Do you think Fuda Batman will be mainstream canon in theaters? Fuda Batman.
Batman can't be Fuda. He's already a dude.
What is Fuda?
Oh, you guys don't know what Fuda is, really?
No,
I don't. I'm not a weeb.
Chicks with dicks.
Oh, best of both worlds.
Very big, unrealistic ones.
Oh, so like most anime.
Yes.
What the fuck is going on?
Oh, well, okay. Well, no, okay, Thomas, but hold on. Let's take a kind of a slide back on this one, because Thomas actually makes a very interesting point. And I think ultimately, because it's funny that he says it, but manga right now, manga is overtaking American comic sales. Like more kids are reading manga in like bookstores than comic sales. Like they're just outperforming them. Demon Slayer was like the #1 movie last year.
Yep.
And that was that beat out, domestically even beat out no, not domestically, but overall beat out like Bad Boys for Life, And so a lot of people out there are like, okay, like they're reading manga. And so if they get into the weird kind of hentai shit, which, let's be fair, manga is a gateway drug to hentai.
Why am I weird for knowing what Fuda is?
But I mean, like, look, Fuda's one thing. Wait, hold on, but Batman, are we saying Batman with a large penis? Because that already happened with the Batman Dark comic a couple years ago that showed just the outline of Batman's junk. It showed the outlines, and like people were like furious at DC for showing Batman's penis, so that they digitally altered it from their DC Black label, which, by the way, was really meant to, push the boundaries of these characters. But God forbid a man's penis is shown.
But we can sexualize the women.
100%. Yeah.
By the way, I believe the reason why manga's taking over is mainly because anime has been such a big thing, and because manga, like a lot of anime series that has ended, has continued on in manga. So yeah.
Yeah.
But hold on, butt toucher. First of all, your name is Butt Toucher. I don't want to hear it. And two, Matt Jarbo is a lot weirder than I am. Because there's one thing I know that he doesn't. He knows a lot more stuff that are weird than I don't. So in fairness,
I know like weird things that like normal weird nearly 40-year-old men would know.
Jarbo,
you know what I mean?
You know of a website that gives you live porn search.
It's the funniest, but it's the funniest damn thing.
But it's weird that
exists. Results.
Okay. See, now I gotta show him.
Pornhub releases their statistics, and they're the funniest.
Oh yeah, no.
They're hilarious.
Oh no. Okay, Ty, I'll show you this. Okay, so we'll deviate real quick. This stream's already demonetized as it is, but you guys have been very supportive tonight, so I thank you all.
Judging you, Butt Toucher. I'm still judging you, Butt Toucher.
She judges everyone.
They demonetized this the minute that we
The
started
minute,
speaking.
yeah, the minute that we say
When I
mighty
said free
words.
Britney, it was over at that
It
point.
was- all right. So this is pornmd.com. Okay.
He has it
That's
on his
this website.
favorites.
I don't
tab,
have
too.
it on my favorites. I just remember what it is. My God, Saggy. My
It's
God.
Pornhub Network.
It is part of the Pornhub network, right? So you can do searches here. You can sit here and say like straight, gay, trans, whatever, or
Okay.
you can click down here and what is a live search. And so, you know, I mean, you got full
Public
erotic
beach
movie,
sex. Yeah.
Asian big dick, Latina MILF, family strokes,
Family stroke.
Japanese.
Listen, guys, I gotta get your thoughts on something.
Pegging.
Pegging, we don't want to know
Mature
about
anal,
that.
Latina cream pie.
21 Naturals in HD. Holy.
Listen, none of us are above porn. Let's just make
There
sure
we go.
that's
There we go.
clear.
Right there. Anime,
Right?
hentai, uncensored.
Yeah, none of us are above it.
Petite ebony college party extreme gangbang hardcore
Yeah,
cream pie compilation.
chubby.
Someone's
Woo!
black gangbang hardcore anal cream pie compilation.
Chubby MILF. That those people are the best.
Solo. There we go. Asian massage parlor.
No, but okay. My question here is: so none of us are above porn. Let's just get let's get that.
Pegging his ass.
Let's get that off the thing.
Yeah.
But are you okay? Because I find it uncomfortable to click on the whole stepsister ones. I know they're not really siblings, but like it just puts
What are you doing there, step bro?
it's like it just gets me in this. It's not what I'm looking for. It's why is that
It's
that a
What
thing?
it is it's taboo is what it is. It's taboo.
It's like
I
yeah,
need
but
to
you're my
see-
stepbrother.
I
And then
need to
it's
see
like, then
Todd's
they-
history.
Have you guys okay. Have you guys, you know how they do like porn parodies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did one on the Rugrats.
Blech.
Uh-huh. They did one on the Rugrats, and the opening of it made its way online. And at one point they're talking, and whoever the actor was who plays Chucky literally breaks the fourth wall and is like, we recognize that we are adults. We recognize that we are playing a part, and we recognize that this is like more or less they give a disclaimer, like we are not trying to imply fucking children. It's like but that like what would bring you down the pathway in your life to a point of where you're dressed as Chucky from Rugrats, about ready to have sex with Angelica or maybe Tommy. I don't know how the story went. I didn't watch it. But you have to give a disclaimer that this is not akin to CP. You know, like that is just, I mean, that is like, that shit is fucking weird.
Yeah, there's a limit on the porn, and that is woof.
I just like regular porn,
Fucking woof.
like blonde. That's what I search.
I'm open to many different new things.
Well, you know.
What's your search history like, Saggy? That's my
I
question.
mean, listen, I'm open. I'll send you my search history. I
Grannies.
don't care.
Grannies?
Of
I
course
might have a clip. I might have a clip to show you, actually. I'll tell you this, and we should probably get back on point, because
Please.
when I was 18, I had been introduced to this website called styleproject.net. And this was like a very gross website. Like it had like, you know, gore and porn all kind of mixed together with anime and hentai and shit. But one of the video clips I saw, and this thing haunted me, was like I was watching, it was a porn, and I was watching like this lady just get railed, but you can't see her face. It's just like the pelvic area and it going in, going out, going out. Right. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And then like it pans up and she's like fucking 90 years old.
Oh my god.
And I was like 18, and I just like, and that fucked with me for days. Just fucked with me for days. I was like, because it doesn't look like any different. Because, you know, like it looked like a normal, like I had seen, you know, like 18, you know, I've been like watch more for a while or whatever. And it's like, that looked normal. But then it's like, it zooms out and it's just like, there's her saggy melons. And it's just like, she's got no dentures in and 90 years old. And I'm like, you know, so that kind of shit, like, yeah, that's weird, man.
You know, it's true what they say, that if it exists, there's porn for it. Because I remember one time somebody was talking to me at my job. Yeah, they were talking to me at my job. I worked at T-Mobile. They're like, you know, there's T-Mobile porn out there. I was like, get the hell out of here. Like, what are they, shoving phones up themselves or something? Like, I was confused. So I searched up, and it's just apparently some people who apparently have T-Mobile work shirts somehow, or used to work there and still cut their shirts, were doing what they call T-Mobile porn, where they were just having sex with the outfit on. I was laughing. I was like,
It's great.
Why is this a thing?
Oh, you want 5G?
You want that? You want that new iPhone?
I'll give you 5G,
Do
baby.
you know what 5G really does? That
Okay,
was
yeah.
the end of it.
I don't know. Oh,
What the
I
hell
don't have my
happened to
camera.
you?
Because of what
No,
people
I-
think
I-
5G is doing to
Oh,
us.
isn't?
know?
Didn't they say cancer? Is that what they say? Like,
no, they think it's like those people are the same people that are against vaccinations. So
Oh, by the way,
crazies. We call them
touch,
crazies.
but touches. I will confirm. I have watched furry
furries,
stuff,
yes,
but
of course,
it's not
yes.
for me.
So
It's
no
not-
yiffing for Saggy. So Saggy's
Yeah.
not a big yiffer. Okay.
I've watched
Okay.
it, but it's not for me.
If you happen to find this stream to be entertaining, please feel free to click like what? I didn't even see Mad Max was here.
You just now noticed he was here.
I just noticed. I've been like, because
Why
I've been
is
trying
he
to keep up with
awake?
super chats. Anyway, I don't know. He's up late all the time. Let's get to these here. Let's get back to everything. Melissa Lord here, another $2. Thank you. Says Keaton Beyond equals money. Just cast Terry. Thoughts on who to be Terry? Oh, who could be Terry McGinnis in?
I really think Robert.
the kid from 13 Reasons Why.
No,
the
no,
Asian one. Yep.
No,
the Asian
Yep.
one?
Yeah.
no.
I never saw it. So I don't
Terry
know who the Asian
McGinnis
one
is drawn in a pretty Asian way.
Right, but no,
and we
wait.
do need more Asian representation. I think he would be a wonderful Terry McGinnis. He's
I
a
think-
little too tall, but I mean,
I think
Okay.
Robert. I'm sorry. I still think Robert would make the best Terry McGinnis because he looks because we know stories. I think we know the story by now that Terry McGinnis is Bruce Wayne's clone, and Robert just has the look. He would make the best looking and best Terry McGinnis. I would love him as Terry McGinnis. I really want it to happen.
I mean, it could be fascinating to see how that plays out, but I don't know what they're going to do with it as time goes on. But anyway, all right. Benson here asks, does Saggy recognize that the Snyderverse is over? I don't think Saggy's like one of the bigger
Super-
sycophants on that one.
Yeah, I'm the wrong one with that one.
Yeah, we got Nick Carr. There's a reason why Saggy's over here tonight. Let's just let's put it
No,
like that.
that's not why.
hey, Nick Carr,
Nick Carr is here.
my boy.
All right. I'm just trying to catch them on. So you guys keep dropping super chats. I swear. Thank you. But it's like, geez, I refer to live action as one. Yeah, I know.
You
Please
fucking
don't.
loser.
Yeah, no, not at all. I love you all. Command unit here, 15 shekels. Thank you. Says I refer to the live action one as Loin King, and I try to forget it existed. Here's how I would justify Loin King. Okay, is the technology that he used for that was the precursor to the Mandalorian. So like to the volume, it was a precursor to that. So I would say I view the Loin King, I'll call it that because I think that's a funny name, as just as a tech demo that led into probably the one TV show that's ever truly made me cry, tears of joy, is in the season 2 finale. So you know what,
And they started it with Jungle Book. Like that's where Jon Favreau really like took that idea, that technology idea, and started it. Like that's when it started brewing. And he was faced with an issue, and they came up with a solution. And that's when he got this idea. And then they greenlit Lion King, and he took it the step further. And yes, Jabba was 100% right in saying it was a tech demo. They were like, look what we can do. Because the graphics in it were amazing, right?
yeah.
However,
really photorealistic, and that's why it's not even. I don't even call it animated. It's like it's CG.
It's unreal looking, but like what it was missing, it was basically in my mind a shot for shot remake with the exception of certain scenes, and what it was missing was heart. The animated movie had heart, and it was and you felt this one. It was just like you were waiting to get through it, like you were waiting for the next scene. Or like the next one. You're like, all right.
Or whatever your favorite from the original
Exactly,
might be.
yeah, exactly. You were waiting for your favorite part of it. And for Saggy, it never came, right? So,
Yes.
It was things like that really like fucked that movie. And
Right.
Yeah.
and then, he's doing fine just now, so.
Yeah, and I also want to let everybody in the chat know that if you close your eyes and you just picture Matt Jarbo in a loincloth, he is the Loin King.
Oh man.
Who knows? I might get one of
now.
those one day and whatever. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll don a loincloth and then just like post a picture and the internet can laugh at me. Anyway, here, H Parts for $2 says Will Smith fish.
Hey, great movie.
Is that what movie? What movie is that?
What?
Will Smith fish.
Will Smith when he played the fish. When,
What the hell is that movie called?
when he played the fish. I can't
Yeah.
remember the name, but great film.
I thought it's not The Reef because that's a knockoff of that one.
Yeah.
No,
it was
Shark Tale. Yeah.
Shark Tale. That's right.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Great film. Great
That
film.
was like that was meant to be like wasn't that DreamWorks? Wasn't that DreamWorks' like attempt to capitalize on the Finding Nemo craze? It was nowhere near as good.
nowhere near as good, but it was
I
good.
like Shark Tale.
Didn't Jack Black play like an orca or something in that
No,
movie?
he played
Like,
the shark. He played the
played
shark.
the shark. Oh, okay. It's been a long time since I've seen Shark
And
Tale.
Angelina Jolie played the hot fish, and Robert De Niro played the like shark mob boss guy. It was actually a pretty good
Cast
cast.
was crazy.
Yeah. the
No,
cast
you
was
know
crazy.
what movie I saw my kids were watching was called Everybody's Hero. And it's a CG film from 2006. It was a Fox movie. It's now on Disney Plus. But it's basically about this kid who finds Babe Ruth's lost bat, the bat is voiced by Whoopi Goldberg. The kid can talk to the bat into a baseball. So Whoopi Goldberg voices the baseball bat. Rob Reiner voices the ball. William, you know the guy from Shameless, right?
Which one?
The main guy from Shameless.
That's not specific.
The dad from Shameless.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I forget his name. He
He was in Fargo. He was in
His wife was arrested
Yeah.
for the college admission scandal. We know
But
who you're
anyway,
talking about.
yeah, he's like the henchman to the bad guy, and the bad guy is voiced by Robin Williams.
Yeah, William Macy.
William Mace, thank you very much. But like, Robin Williams voices the bad guy in it, and it's like, what the hell? Didn't you find out the movie's directed by Christopher Reeve?
Wait,
Right.
what?
Yeah, the movie was directed by Christopher Reeve and a couple other people. Is this animated film called Everybody's Hero. It's not terrible. Like, we watched it. It wasn't bad, but it was also like the animation's really kind of janky because it was back, in the mid 2000s. Yeah. It was like right around the time when Disney did Chicken Little.
Oh God.
Which is like, we watched that again recently and that's iffy. But again, it's just kind of like, you can go back and find some of those movies like The Nut Job with Will Arnett and Katherine Heigl and Liam Neeson, or they did one, it was a turkey one. Like it was Owen Wilson, it was like a turkey. Yeah, it was turkey time travel movie. I forget. I don't know. They've done so many of those weird animated movies. But thank you very much for that, H Barts. Hold on, there's other ones here. I think okay. I just want to make sure I got them all. Oh my God, there's like hold on, I'm just trying to play catch up.
Yeah,
There we go.
I know. It must be tough.
No, it is. I'm not trying to. Anyway, it's not that I'm not complaining. It's just like the way that it operates is it shoots forward
I
all
know.
the time.
Yeah, I know how it is.
And I'm like, I just want to make sure I get everyone. Okay. So H Bart's here. Another $5. It says real Elmo was talking to me and he thought Robert De Niro was in Titanic. What?
No,
like
he was not.
Was De Niro like on the front of the boat? Like, you talking to me? Like, is he the iceberg? Is he the iceberg? Thank you for that, H Bart's. No, Elmo, no, he wasn't in there. Kathy Bates was. Command unit here, another 15 shekels. Thank you. Says the Rugrats did have a teenager show called All Grown Up, and it did have some very sexually themed moments.
Yeah, that show was crazy, right? That show was. I actually just had Gary Gray on the show. Do you guys know who that is?
It sounds familiar.
Gary Gray played was in the Rugrats. I can't remember who he voiced, but he was also in Rocket Power. He voiced Sam, the nerd kid, or Squid, if you want to call him Squid. He was also in The Fresh Prince. He was in The Cosby Show. So we got to talk about a lot of different stuff. But he was talking about how All Grown Up, that show is a travesty and ruined the Rugrats legacy.
Oh, really? I mean, I know that it existed. It came out at a time when, like, I think it was for, like, more or less my younger siblings were...
Yeah, they wanted to follow the kids that watched it you know what I mean, as they were all grown up, right? So they they tried to like capitalize on the audience that they had lost because they were growing up by growing up the Rugrats.
Yeah, so it's like that joke in iCarly about swallowing after a blowjob. I get you.
I'm sorry,
Whoa, what?
There was a what?
No, I'm totally making that up.
God.
But there's like, you know, suggestions where like, I think like one girl in the show calls herself like a slut or like a bitch or something. And it's like, you know, it's following the characters after you know, you don't ever want to see these characters like talk about like, you know, like erectile dysfunction. You know, you wouldn't want to see Tommy Pickles like as a middle-aged man who's working a dead-end job with a wife who probably fucking hates him and a best friend who's probably just secretly gay but hates his wife. You know, and he's like, I can't even get my dick up anymore, man. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know, like, it just, like, I mean, nobody wants that. Unless maybe you do want that. I don't know. I mean, that would be the funniest thing in the, you know, to have Rugrats end the entire run with them all in a nursing home. You know, and then like, but then, because keep in mind, nursing homes, tons
almost
of sex.
Dead.
And yeah, almost dead. But like in nursing homes, tons of sex. Tons of STDs. STDs run wild in nursing homes.
They do.
Because people like to fuck and like they're like at the end of their life. Like, I don't care if I get AIDS. You know?
He was AJ in Fairly Odd Parents. I know who the
yeah. Gary Gray's amazing. And now dude, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of collaboration with him. He's got his own podcast and it's called Live from the Couch. And I can't wait. I mean, that guy, I mean, like I said, man, this channel is this show is got me into a lot of doors that like I'm super excited about and
lucky for you.
If there's anyone out there that's on the fence about like whether or not you want to start a channel, I'd say do it because
no, don't do it. He's lying. They're gonna reject your monetization.
No.
It's gonna be all
did you
over.
get your monetization rejected?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
They said because I reuse content.
Yeah, if
show is the perfect. Like they loved monetizing us. We're the perfect show to monetize because we're not Jarbo. Is basically what they basically said to us.
Dude, I'm monetized. What are you talking about?
No, I'm
monetized.
But they love advertising us on us.
Okay,
on channels like ours.
Yeah,
because we keep it PG for that literal reason.
Yeah, no, I know, but this is called Hollywood After Dark. So I mean, it's like the idea there is, you know, let's have some fucking conversations, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, I don't swear that often. Even
I'm so surprised though, Saggy. They really, I mean, you do have to get used to the subscriber count like coming up and down, because that's just the way that works. But for them to just straight deny it.
Well, that's why I was like, I don't know why, because I don't get copyright claimed often, and when I do, I usually deal with it. And most of the appeals I've done have been like approved. I think right now, I think my channel maybe only has 3 copyright claims in total, and one of them is from like a video like way back when. But most of my content is just reviewing parody and, you know, reacting videos. So the fact that they were like, yeah, this, and they gave me the list too, like, this is what you could do to fix your channel. Like, all that stuff you listed is all the stuff I do on my channel. So how did I get denied?
Actually kind of explain that, and you can actually kind of thank Tyrone Magnus for this one. Because Tyrone Magnus, the reaction channels for a long time did very well algorithmically and very well financially. And then what was it back in 2015 or 2016, the user Grade A Under A, big channel, made a video eviscerating reaction channels, and the response was so heavy, was like so massive from the community that YouTube then basically kneecapped the React channel. And I think that this whole thing now is just not that. So here's what I'd recommend for the next 30 days or whatever, because you have to wait 30 days to reapply. Do live streams, talk about other things, just stop showing other people's content for like a month. Right. And then try it again, and you should get it. Once you get it, you're fine.
Well, I appealed, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you should be able to. Real quick here, Mad1306, $5. Thank you, man. Says you can be in your 40s and be a granny, so you like great granny porn. I mean, she would have been a great grandmother. But I think after 20 years, she's probably clearly passed. And then fourth 1,000 year says the guy from Maze Runner is Terry. I can kind of see that. Although, I mean, he was good. I forget his name. Dylan something. Dylan. Who was the guy in Maze Runner? I mean, Maze Runner was a good movie. I never saw the sequels, but I saw the first one. It was good.
His name is Dylan.
Yeah, it's like Dylan
something.
Yeah, that should be his last name. Something,
Dylan
right?
something.
Or Dylan, or that guy Dylan.
Or it started with a D.
Hold on, Maze Runner cast. Maze.
I hate when people Google because I want to think of it.
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
All right, what is it? Because I can't think. 5 a.m.
Yeah, I know. It's Dylan O'Brien.
Yes, Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah.
I wouldn't come up with that one.
But then Kea Socodelario was in there. She was pretty good too. She was good in she was good in Crawl. I liked Crawl quite a bit actually.
I just don't see Dylan O'Brien as Terry McGinnis.
He could do like a Nightwing, I think.
You could be Terry McGinnis.
It could be something like that. All right, and then H Bart's here. $2 man says Uber Eats versus Enosh Eats. Dawn of the Arby's. That's an inside joke because H Bart's here will joke about me doing the food delivery, and he'll be like, "Where's my Arby's?" And I'm like, "I live in Washington." And then Enosh went to his house for his birthday and brought him Arby's.
Brought him Arby's. Yeah.
Was
Brought
it
him
cold
Arby's.
though? Was it cold when
I don't know. I never asked that question. What kind of Arby's did he bring you? Because that's
Did you
kinda
get
weird.
a beef and
It was actually just the bag. There was nothing.
Nothing
Enosh
else.
ate it.
Nothing else was in the bag. Enosh's like, I got hungry on the way over. And I get that entirely. So, all right, guys, listen, we are at 3 hours.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, I get a bounce in a minute.
Yeah, it's all good. I know. So Ryan Hartwell's been in the back for a while,
I was gonna say,
and he wanted to come on to talk. I asked him to come on, and we got totally caught up and everything. But he went to go see Dune, the IMAX preview tonight. So he wanted to talk about it a little bit.
okay, so when you say preview, do you mean the full film or just it?
No, just it was a new trailer and the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Okay.
And that I had tickets tonight, but I couldn't go because of my hernia. So Ryan went in my stead. Hey Ryan, thank you for waiting. I know you've been waiting a while. I do appreciate that.
Howdy.
He was helping in the back though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ryan's great, dude. Ryan's like true fucking goat. I like him quite a bit. So all right, Ryan. So tell us about seeing Dune in the 10-minute IMAX.
All right. Well, just to show proof that I was really there, here's the tickets that Matt was kind enough to send me.
Yeah.
Fake news.
Fake
And,
news. Yeah.
And here is the movie poster that I got while I was there.
Oh, it's simple yet elegant.
Yeah. Look at that thing. That's gonna be. I can't wait for Dune.
Yeah.
Do you
and
think
if
it's
you
gonna
look
do well?
closely, there's a main character walking in the sand. So
I like the aesthetic of that because I would not. Oh.
From here, it kind of looks like the silhouette of a planet.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I was thinking.
And then, like now I see. Okay, there's
There's the sand. And
there's
then,
the sand. Yeah, now I see it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. See, it's posters like that we need more of, or like movie things like that. Not with not the Marvel posters or the Star Wars posters, which are all the same every single time.
Yeah. I will fully. And as much as I love Marvel and Star Wars, I completely agree with you.
yeah. And I got you a second poster for you, Matt. So
Yeah. Thank you.
Where's the third one?
I wish I would have gone. I just could not make that drive. Okay, so this I told Ryan this too when I talked to him. I gave him the thing. I actually called the theater last night to see how long the screening was, because if it was going to be the full movie, I was gonna say fuck it and I was gonna go. But when I talked to them and they said, oh, they have it booked until 8:30, I'm like, okay, that means they're only going to show you a little bit, and that's going to be that. So I didn't feel that bad, but the reaction, Ryan, that I've seen coming off of this thing is pretty high. People are pretty elated. Those who were there are pretty elated at what they showed.
yeah. So here's how my day went. Okay, at 6 p.m. I left my house. Thankfully, because the traffic there was a shit show. But thankfully, I was able to get there at 6:30 because Bellevue's only 30 minutes away from my house.
Nice.
Bellevue, Washington, and I made it to the Lincoln Square. And when I was there, I showed them my ticket, and even though it says, let's see,
There's a thing there about.
Yeah, IDs will be checked at the door. So I was a little nervous, but thankfully I was able to get in. And before we were gonna head in, they advised us to take our phones and place them in a paper bag.
They do that a lot nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like concerts and comedy shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been doing that now for like over a decade. A lot of these screenings I've gone to, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, I head in and the place was packed. Like there was barely an open seat left. So yeah, it was well attended, and there is hype for that. And as soon as it started, sorry, I'm echoing here. Okay. Yeah, as soon as it started, they showed a behind-the-scenes featurette with the director, Denis Villeneuve. I'm probably butchering his name, but
there's a million ways you could say.
I always butcher his name. I think I first
call
called him
Dennis Villeneuve.
I call him like Villanueva or something like that. I feel like, what the fuck did it? I'm like, I can't pronounce it. The guy, he's one of my favorite directors, but like, you'll never be able to get me to say his name properly. I'm like, that guy who did that movie that we all like.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Sorry.
So it's fine. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, not only showing the behind-the-scenes featurette, casting interviews, the director talking about how passionate they are with the source material, and then they said, and presenting the first 10 minutes of the movie. Hope you enjoy it. And the way it starts out, no spoilers or anything, but then again, it's the first 10 minutes. So, but anyway, it starts off with narration and just talking about the situations, the spice, how who controls the spice controls everything, so on and so forth, interstellar travel and all that. And then it kind of relies on narration with visuals.
Okay.
And just establishing why these people have blue eyes, or why it's why this is so important, and what are the power struggles in the entire plot of the story. And then, sorry.
So yeah.
Let's see and collect my thoughts.
So I mean, basically what you're trying to say is that it's so it's just giving us because there's a lot of political stuff in Dune. Very political, a lot going on, a lot of world building in that book. And they've got to summarize it in the best way that they can. Now, did they summarize it within the first 10 minutes, or like is the first 10 minutes, is it all narration?
Well, they're able to summarize it within the first 3 minutes, and then it continues on with Timothy Chalamet's character, and just practicing and learning about everything through reading the text while listening to the narration. And then there's this montage compiling with the narration.
Okay.
And then it kind of ends with Oscar Isaac's character, who's playing his father in a diplomatic treaty signing. And they pour on the wax, and his ring is the seal. And then as soon as he asks, is it done? And the diplomat guy says, it is done, at end scene.
Okay. And now, does it say, it says Dune Part 1, doesn't it?
Dune Part 1, yes.
Okay, because that's the thing they haven't said until now, right? They haven't specified that until now.
So it's going to be a two-parter.
I think they shot both. I think they shot both parts,
and-
That would just make
and-
sense to film it both back to back. And because at this point, what Warner Brothers is trying to do is they're trying to ultimately win awards with this. Because I think this is going to be like Blade Runner 2049, where it is an amazing movie, but it might have a little bit of trouble speaking to everyone that they're trying to get. But then again, Dune, I mean, the Lynch film is so old and so kind of heavily mocked in many ways.
Can I ask you a question? So is this like a direct adaptation of the book, or because I'm not familiar with the property, or a like continuation or a reboot of the film?
I would say it's a readaptation.
So it's a completely as just their own take adapting the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and so after that, the director showed a random scene that kind of I wouldn't say hints at, but maybe show glimpses of the sandworm, and then after that,
Okay.
yeah, the reason why I say the director, because I'm not gonna properly pronounce his name. But,
it's okay. It's okay. I get
but
it.
yeah, after that, now Hans Zimmer is talking with the director, and how Hans Zimmer was a huge fan of the source material and wanted to do the music for that, and so they talked about how giddy they are with that, and
How was now? Could you hear much of the score?
a little bit, yeah,
Okay.
especially with the first 10 minutes.
Now, but would you say, because I know a lot of people here are like Snyder Cut fans, and Hans Zimmer obviously worked on Man of Steel and BVS and stuff. How, like, comparatively speaking, because he's a fantastic composer in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
So, like, comparatively speaking, do you think it worked out pretty well, or like?
actually, yeah, with the material, and of course with the director involved, it's a very, I wouldn't say 2001-esque, because that's not a fair comparison, but more of a cerebral sort of it's a mellow, kind of right in line with Arrival and Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
I'm a huge Arrival guy.
So I get you. So it's going to be in the same vein of that, which makes a lot of sense because they've collaborated before. And so, okay. So, I mean, visually in the IMAX, it looks pretty fantastic, I'm assuming.
Fantastic.
All right.
I would recommend seeing an IMAX.
And I don't have to have seen, do I have to have read the book, do you think? Or do I have to have seen any of the movie before to know what I'm walking into?
Honestly, I would say just watch it as its own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
I've never
think
read that book.
There's a lot there. Dune is a massive book. It's a massive
Yeah.
book. And there's a lot that goes into like the 3 different houses and Arrakis and the spice. And I mean, he mentioned the interstellar travel, and like that's a big thing. And it's just like, it is insane. It's kind of like we're talking before about like the Wheel of Time, it's not as expanded as the Wheel of Time in regards to how many books there are, but there's a lot of shit going on in that book. And so I would say, like, maybe find like a YouTube video that's like, like Dune explained or something, like, and just something like not too long, just to give you a brief enough of an overview. So when you go in, you're not entirely bombarded with like House Harkonnen and the other houses and what else is going on, and just to have a general understanding of it. But I do what I'm hoping, Ryan, and I don't, from what you described out the first 10 minutes, I'm not too sure how well this might play out, but because Dune is so kind of dense, the material is very dense. The adaptation is going to be tough, and that's why I'm glad they're doing part 1 and part 2, because the 84 film, or 87, I think it was 87. But anyway, the Lynch movie is one film for the whole book, and it's a long movie, but the effects weren't really there. And it's like, I would say if you want to go watch the original,
plus, sorry,
but isn't it like a cult classic?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, I don't think David Lynch. I don't think David Lynch's heart was really in the project or was really interested, so to speak.
No, as far as I know, he probably wasn't that super into it. You know, it's if you look at like David Lynch's material, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know why they would have chosen him really to do it. I can kind of understand why, but maybe it was like the more cerebral aspect of Dune that they were trying to tap into, when in reality, what you need is someone like, I don't know. I don't want to say someone like, who was the guy who did John Carter? Who did John Carter? Aaron Stanton. Oh no, it was Stanton, Andrew Stanton, who did John Carter. John Carter was a solid adaptation of that, Edgar Rice Burroughs book, right? And it was a fun movie, and it was a very good movie that just failed to connect with audiences. Very similar to how some of these older properties do. But I would look at Dune as saying like, Denis, the director, is probably the best guy to tackle it because he understands the nuance as well as the directing, and hard sci-fi is this dude's jam. So, like, I mean, and then also HBO Max is supposedly doing a Sisters of Dune show that is supposed to tie into the movie, but there has been, as far as I know, nothing new on that one.
Yeah, and I like to compare adaptations to a game of Jenga. If you take out the parts that either don't go anywhere or add little or nothing to the story, and it still holds up, then it's fine. But if you take out the wrong parts, then the whole thing falls apart.
Okay. I get that. Yeah.
I do. I gotta take off, guys.
Yeah. I understand. It's getting late. I gotta wrap it up here too, man. But Ryan, you would recommend.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to see this movie.
Yeah. I think you might like it.
I probably will.
Yeah, if you like Blade Runner and you like The Rival,
I do,
those are both the same director, so it's should be good for you, man. But all right, Ty,
right.
Thank you so much for hanging out, dude.
Yeah, and to everyone, you got a really great audience, Jarbo, for real. And thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Saggy. Of course, thank you, Matt, for joining me earlier and allowing me to come on today.
Oh, dude, anytime, man. Anytime.
Check out the Pop Culture Corner. Help me support breast cancer, and let's have some fun along the way. You can find us all over at Pop Culture Corner. I love y'all. Guys, stay above the toxicity and away from it all. And I promise you'll smile more.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Was that a bad outro?
No, it wasn't a bad
right
outro. It wasn't a bad outro. It's good. It's motivational.
All right. And then if you do, I'll never mind. For next time.
All right, man.
Bye,
Get some sleep. Sleep.
Bye.
See you later. Thank you so much, Ty. First time he's been on the show. Ty and I have been trying to figure out time to get together. I'm so thankful he stayed up late tonight. Great conversation.
He's gonna
Ty's a
be
great guy.
recording this in a few hours.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what? It's totally worth it, in my opinion.
By the way, hi, Ryan. Hi.
And so, Ryan, thank you for waiting on that one too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no problem.
Well,
and after they showed the Hans Zimmer thing, they showed an extended trailer. So
okay, yeah, the trailer drops in the morning. So so what you guys got to see is definitely like the 10 minutes and the behind the scenes stuff, which I'm hoping does get leaked out, if I'm being honest with you, but I don't think it will, because they've been, just because they told you to put your phone in a bag doesn't mean that, when I went to an early screening of Fast and Furious 8, and there was they said that, phones locked away and whatever. There was a dude sitting next to me texting halfway through the damn movie.
Yeah.
The security guards didn't do shit.
Yeah, I think I saw one or two people with their phones, but thankfully I don't think they were pointing them at the screen. So I think they were trying to be careful. Yeah.
A lot of people are they're not gonna, here's the thing, when they say they have these anti-piracy measures in place, generally they just have dudes with night vision goggles that are looking for the glare from the phone. So if you were to, I'm just saying this, if you were to get an app that allows you to turn off your screen while you're recording, they won't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've seen enough people. I've seen enough people do that at Comic-Con. You know, because a lot of the stuff gets leaked out of Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how they end up tending to do it. But yeah. But real quick here, H Bart's here, $2. Thank you, man. Says I don't like Dune, but I'll send you the Arrow 4K. Thank you, H Bart. You don't have to, but I appreciate that. I like the original. It's not it's a slow movie. It's not the best movie, but it's iconic and it's cult classy and it's all that kind of stuff. You know, it's like if they re-released the original Dune in 4K in theaters, I probably would go see it. Or if they put it on HBO Max. Is it on HBO Max? Is it on HBO Max? Let me take a look here because I do want to watch it again. As I say every night, I want to watch some stuff. But you know what I did after I put my kids down? I played Skyrim because that's what I like to do. Mm-hmm. All right. Oh yeah, the original Dune. Dune is on HBO Max in HD.
Okay.
It's 2 hours. Wow, it's only 2 hours and 16 minutes. I thought the movie was like 4 hours.
Freaking hungry, man. I want cookies.
You want a cookie? But apparently on HBO Max they've also got Mad Max, Road Warrior, and then Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That's cool. I haven't been on it. I haven't watched anything on HBO Max. Oh my god, they got
I
Tequila
haven't
Sunrise.
either. Last thing I watched on HBO Max was New Mutants. And
I haven't even watched New Mutants yet. It's so difficult to find time to watch stuff. I was gonna
Space Jam on Discord though. I didn't watch it on my Xbox. Don't judge me. I had to review it. Everyone was telling me.
Yeah, I know. Yvonne says you haven't seen a lot of movies. Yeah, I know. But like, I watched Space Jam. So like, now fourth year says like it dropped in the morning. Poor guy wasted gas. I don't know. I mean, maybe Ryan, you're like me. Do you feel like you wasted your time going to this thing?
I picked up the poster. I got my pretzel bites with cheese, and plus I saw footage of the actual movie, so I'd say it was worth it.
I want a pretzel with cheese now. Wow, damn, I'm hungry. No, really but so you went to the theater. I will say, because like I said, I was quiet because I was giving you the floor. But was this the first movie you went to in the theaters in a while?
No, actually, the first movie I've seen in a while in theaters was Demon Slayer.
Ooh, good choice. But how does it feel like to be? So back then when Demon Slayer came out, I think we were still under like some strict rules, but now that I think it's lifted a bit, is it still the same in the theaters, or do you think it's getting better?
Well, here's the thing. When I saw Demon Slayer, we still had to wear masks. Yeah, in Washington, they were going in phases, and I think we're still in phase 1, so to speak, phase 1 or phase 2. So when I was in the theater, I felt I was home again. Like an almost spiritual level. Just it felt really good.
Aww.
And now that Washington is fully open, it continues to feel great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't been to them theaters yet. I'm waiting for a movie to really want me to go see it in theaters, because so far all the movies I've seen, I've been fine seeing it on my TV at home, but I'm waiting for like that one movie drop, which is not going to be Robert's Batman, but it will be some other one. Maybe when Deadpool 3 comes out, I'll probably go see Deadpool 3 in theaters for sure.
Well, let me ask you a question. What kind of movie are you looking for that you think is really going to sell you? You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm curious about.
Deadpool 3.
Well, no, what about Deadpool 3? Like, what exactly are you looking for?
I just love Deadpool.
Okay, so, but I mean, you know, if it wasn't Deadpool, what kind of stories do you, like, what kind of story would drive you back in?
Honestly, if it's not Deadpool, I just want something new. Like, I want something original and new, and Hollywood has really been slacking on that.
Sure. I mean, like, there's like, would you care if it's like a sequel, but it was like many years after a movie came out?
It would have to be like a movie that I really loved back in the day that I can't even
Sure.
remember loving until they come out with a sequel and be like, oh yeah, I remember loving that. Like, and it has to look good. Like, I was excited when I heard they were doing a Space Jam movie, and then immediately disappointed when I found out who they casted and what the story was going to be about. So,
Because the core idea of Space Jam: A New Legacy is about family, right? Coming together and understanding one another, right, and listening to one another. Because that's kind of the impetus of the movie. Is LeBron understanding that. But like, there's a lot of other movies, that have come out recently that are about family, right? Like, especially you've got ones that are like about, brothers that are just, distant, and they lost their connectivity. They lost their love, but they come together, for a fun adventure, a fun, like very interesting adventure. Something like that could probably get you back in theaters, because it's just, it's a real, you got to find something that's gonna be really heartfelt and really tug on your heartstrings, but also entertain the hell out of you.
Right. And to answer Matt's question, I do want to see Spider-Man No Way Home, but it's not like one of those like projects I want to see in theater if I can watch it at home. But I don't think I can watch that one at home, so I probably have to see it there.
Yeah. Well, I want to recommend you one that you might get a kick out of, right? So, because if you're looking for a reason to go back right now, I have one recommendation for you, and I really think that you're gonna like it, Saggy. So, like I said, it's a movie. It's about two brothers separated long distance, haven't seen each other a long time, have to come back together in order to save the family. It's all about family.
Is it Supernatural, the movie?
It's not Supernatural, the movie, but it takes elements from Supernatural, the movie, where weird things happen and you don't quite know who's good, who's bad. You don't know any of that, but it's an adventure about trying to overcome adversity and understand each other and understand not only your brother, but your family as a whole. And really, it's one of those things that if you just, sit down and you see it, you're going to feel great. You're going to feel motivated. You're going to laugh. You're going to smile. You might even cry. And that movie is Boss Baby 2, Family Business, currently playing in theaters and also on Peacock. And I
like Boss Baby. I loved Boss Baby, the first one. I even watched the TV show on Netflix.
Yeah, the TV show's good. The movie's solid too. Although
I hate you, by the way, for that. You built that up like
yeah, I know, but like Moisture's like fucking Boss Baby. Yvonne's like Boss Baby. Music Man here's like, it better not be Boss Baby.
Music Man, I'm with you, Music Man. Like, me and you are finally back on the same page tonight. So yes, I'm with you, Music Man. I'm sitting there like, this man really put up Boss Baby 2. I'm literally face palming right now. Oh my god!
Everyone, look, I like to sell people. I will say this though, Jess, who hangs out in the chat, he's also in the Discord. He started watching the Boss Baby animated series because I was recommending it. So there's that. Andrew Casali says, "End me now." Andrew, if only we could.
Damn.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. However, I am well beyond my normal like hour and a half, 2 hour threshold. I do need to get to bed.
Yeah, he's old, guys. He's old.
I'm an old guy with a hernia. I finally get I have to wait a week to go to my ultrasound.
He's having his colonoscopy in the morning, guys.
I wish. I feel like a colonoscopy would not be as uncomfortable as this. Like. Because it feels like I got a girdle today. Literally, I got a girdle. I got like my abdominal girdle to hold my intestines in place.
Gerbo.
Like that's what?
Question for you.
I feel like I'm pregnant. Like I have to,
Okay, that's it. Can we do a review on Sexy Beasts?
What is Sexy Beasts?
You haven't heard about Sexy Beasts on Netflix?
Is it Beastars? Is this Beastars?
No, it's worse. It's about people who literally, like real people who dress up as animal
I've heard of
characters,
this.
and they go on dates together. I wish I could make this up.
Is this on net? This is on Netflix.
This is on Netflix. It's called Sexy Beasts. The Beast costumes are amazing, by the way. They're absolutely stunning.
Oh yeah.
What in the fuck?
Yes, and they go on dates with each other, and they're dressed up as their animal of choice. Like it's like movie quality, like special effects makeup to make them look like animals. They go on dates, and that's I want to talk about it.
Yeah, blind dates taking a whole new level. Yeah.
What? Yeah. Listen. Hashtag cancel Netflix. If there's anything that's gonna get me to cancel Netflix, it's gonna. What in the hell is this shit? I mean, like, what am I looking at? Hold Hold the F on. Okay, we're gonna check out this trailer. What I need to I gotta go to sleep. But Saggy comes at literally the 11th hour, and then she's like, "Did you hear about this show called Sexy Beasts?" Like, what are you doing to me, Saggy?
What do you mean? This is up your alley. Like
It's not up my alley. I'm not that weird. Jesus Christ.
We have to talk about it. We have
All
to
right,
talk about
so I mean, look at this here.
it. I don't know what that is. Is that supposed to be a dolphin?
It's or a porpoise, I think. Blowholes on the dolphin are generally in the back, probably, but a blowhole in the front indicates that she's down.
I think the panda's a girl, but yes,
The panda looks like a girl. The eyes kind of give it away. That's definitely a dude right there. Ass first, personality second. Oh my god! But look at this.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
It premieres. So it premiered yesterday on Netflix.
Yeah, I just saw it on my.
How many episodes is it?
I could tell you. Give me a second.
So
Hold on. Can you guys hear it?
I want to get married. I want to have babies. Before I'm like 26, do you have health insurance?
Can you guys hear
Welcome
that?
to the strangest blind date ever.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
How you doing?
Could you fall in love with someone based on personality alone?
What is your ideal woman?
personality for me is everything.
Ass first, personality second. You're the best looking devil I've ever seen.
This is really weird right now.
Would you count this as a weird experience for you?
Cheers.
So I like your fin.
So what if I pick you and I'm not what you expect underneath? Oh my God!
I've kissed this girl and I don't know what she looks like.
I'm literally just in love with the moment.
Pull.
Oh! Whip it. Time has come.
This is gonna be really tough for me.
I can't choose both of you. I've made my decision.
My sexy beast is
There's interspecies relationships happening on my grounds. I won't stand for it.
For the love of God, kill me. What
It's 6
in?
episodes.
It's 6 episodes. I need to look. I'm just saying, I need to get really fucking wasted, and then sit down and watch this thing.
Let's do
Music
it.
Man is great. So the makeup is great, but what the? I know, man. The makeup is great, but what the fuck?
Listen, let's do the first episode and see how we feel.
Oh my god! All right, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on here. HBart's here. $2 says Ryan stole Johnny Depp's hat.
Yes.
Now the correct question is, what kind of hat is it?
It's an Italian fedora made of polyester. So
I think it's called a trilby,
I
right?
was gonna say you didn't know what it's called.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone calls it a fedora. Is just no. Indiana Jones wore a fedora. Don't get me wrong. I got nothing against trilbies.
Mhm.
I own a trilby. I owned a trilby.
Yeah, 60% wool, 40% polyester. Yeah.
Okay. I don't.
It's a nice.
It works on some people. I have my head is too weird for it right now. And then Mad here 1306, thank you, says Beastars season 2 was good. Didn't like the last episode. I haven't watched any of that yet.
I just am getting into Beastar season 2.
I love Beastars.
See, it's a good show. I know it sounds weird at first, but once you ignore the fact that they're animals, you kind of you're fine.
Once you're like, yeah, no, that rabbit totally wolfed down that wolf's penis.
She didn't. She stopped her. She was going to.
Okay.
He didn't
I don't
want
know.
it.
This is
But
so
she did-
Context matters.
She did sleep
Hashtag
with
context matters.
She
Yeah.
did sleep with the doe. That did happen.
That happened.
Well, they didn't show it. It was one of those after they did it, the deed scenes. And she did get almost violated and devoured by a lion.
That's true.
A lot has happened.
Why do I let you guys corrupt me with this shit?
It's not bad. Just give it a chance.
Well, I mean, think of it as
Just give it a chance.
think of it as an R-rated version of Zootopia. So
Yeah, it's already.
Yeah, no, I get you. And I understand that. Yeah, an R-rated version of Zootopia. I understand.
and it kind of makes sense why they're animals, because you have carnivores and herbivores, and the the carnivores are eating the herbivores, and so it kind of revolves around the ethical dilemmas on not only race but also their primal instincts and how to combat them.
Okay, that's something. I mean, it's if I had ended the show an hour ago, I probably would go. I'd go and sit in bed and watch it. But it's like almost 2, and I got to
watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll try to find time to check it out.
Okay.
Elmo here is asking though if season 1 is good. People seem to recommend it. People seem to recommend it.
It is good. It's a good series. It's very an interesting take, and I think everyone should stop being afraid of the stigma that there's some mature content. But it's not like everyone's like, oh, if you like Beastars, you're furry. It's like, no, you're not.
like Beastars, you're. Well, I wouldn't say you're furry, but it may be furry adjacent. All right. Okay, fine. If you masturbate to Beastars, then you're furry adjacent.
Okay, maybe I am then because I've done it.
Okay.
Yeah,
and on that note,
I'm also a furry. I mean, I don't cosplay, but I do. But I do like anthropomorphic characters. You know, I've always had. So.
I love you, Ryan.
It's like furry anonymous in here. It's like my name is Ryan. I'm a furry. Hi, Ryan. I'm not into yiffing. I just like the animals. That's what makes it abundantly clear. All right, I'm not like those weird bronies. All right, like.
Well, you can argue the ancient Egyptians were furries as well. So
they were into cats, but then again, everyone likes eating pussy. So there you go.
Yep, it's that time of the night, folks.
I love it. I love it when people actually get all the way to the end of these things when they go this long, because I just get loopy because I'm tired, and then it's just like, what does this devolve into? You know, that's honestly why like Hollywood After Dark becomes like the weirdest damn show.
The last thing I want to ask before you head out is, Ryan, furry OnlyFans happening when?
Tomorrow. No, I'm kidding.
No, wait, hold on. I have to ask the question. Do you have a fursuit?
No, I do not.
Okay. Have you been to Vancouver?
Vancouver, Washington, or Vancouver?
No.
BC?
Vancouver, which is the furry convention in Vancouver, BC. Which, listen, I think that's the funniest damn name I've ever heard in my entire life. That is one of the best puns I've ever heard in my entire life. It is not anything I would attend myself, but like a couple years ago when you had the Syrian refugee crisis, and the country, the state of British Columbia brought in a bunch of Syrian refugees and put them up at the same hotel Vancouver was happening in. So all of these Syrian children who had like never, ever seen a furry were now like walking into this hotel after traveling across the world from their country and their problems and their ills and their woes to finding grown adult men wearing fursuits that are like, "Hi kids, would you like a hug?" And it's I'm not kidding.
I just want to say, why do you know about this convention?
Because I'm a learned individual, Saggy. All right.
Why?
I pay attention to weird things. I like weird things.
Okay, so the comment earlier about me being weird and I said you were weirder was a lot accurate, clearly.
Hold on. Now, Music Man here says, y'all coming out saying you like dressing up as animals and fucking. No one has said anything about fucking.
No, we just said we flick the bean to animals fucking.
Double click the mouse. Jeez, flick the bean. What are we in the mid 90s all of a sudden?
Do you want me to
Although
say
all things considered, you and I were in high school around the same time. You know, not the same high school, but you know, we similar culture.
Yes, this is true.
And then real quick here, command unit another 15 shekels. Thank you, sir. Says this is from Hat Sanity. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Shekels in the world for his sanity.
Elmo here says, what's wrong with furries? I have fur.
So call me, Elmo. Call me.
It's just like I can just imagine that being like the most deadpan response given ever.
Call
Like,
me Elmo. We'll make your super chats worth every penny.
oh my God. Saggy finally only she's like, I was denied monetization for the last time.
No, yeah, thanks you.
She's all like OnlyFans. Now, if I really wish there was a brony in here, because like honestly, Bronly fans would just be like the $1 million idea.
Bronly fans, you're dumb.
Bronly fans, yeah.
I
think it's pretty funny.
I'm sorry, I sneezed.
I mean, it's like, imagine what would a My Little Pony Bronly fans website be like? You know, like, would it be like, do you want to see my Twilight Sparkle?
It would.
I have her chained up in the basement.
It would smell like sadness, desperation, and a lot of disappointed parents.
So you mean like any comic convention?
Pretty much, yeah. It'd be like
Okay.
Comic-Con.
And I've been 20 times. So what does that say about me?
You're a low-key bro.
No, I'm not a low-key bro. I did watch the documentaries that were made on the bronies, and what was funny about that was, like, I talked about it. People were like, oh, well, like, you're a brony. I'm like, I'm not a brony, but why'd you watch the documentaries? Because I was curious to know more about the culture.
Why? Dude, I remember when my friends went to My Little Pony and I went to their house and they were all sitting down watching TV. Like, hey, you want to watch this show with us? I was like, what do we watch? They're like, My Little Pony. I was like, you do realize we're 24, right? We should be out, drinking and partying. But no, let's sit down and watch My Little fucking Pony. Yeah, that sounds like how I want to friggin' enjoy my mid-20s.
Well, I mean, like, I've watched some weird stuff, like weird cartoons, and everything.
Search history. I'm gonna get it.
My search history ain't that bad.
No,
So I think look, I like to give bronies a hard time, but like I've checked out My Little Pony. I watched a couple of. I mean, I had 104-degree fever when I did. So, I think that might have influenced like the entertainment I got, but that was in 2012. And I have not gone back to it since. So.
Okay, well, I'm judging all of you.
Yeah, okay, miss. I flick my bean to furries.
But not ponies, so I'm still in the
Oh, they're not ponies. They're not ponies. All right, that's right. Yeah, but like, like that Wolf and Beastars, that got me going.
Oh, yeah, it did. Oh.
Just imagine that matted mane of fur come.
Well, honestly, if you really think about it, it's not really that different than, say, the average Disney fan, who makes fan art and just enjoys whatever they want to enjoy. But
no, that is you have a point there.
Do you want to fuck a mermaid?
Honestly,
fuck it in the ass.
They don't have asses. She didn't have an ass yet.
Put it in the blowhole and
just
pull out when.
Just sprinkle it on the eggs. So
sprinkle it on the eggs. Oh my God.
What is happening?
Is that hold on? Is that a euphemism for like coming on a pair of tits? Is that what that is?
What?
Sprinkle it on some eggs. Ah, yeah, skeet.
No, I'm saying when salmon do it, first they lay the eggs and then the male just sprinkles their sperm onto the eggs to make them fertilize. So
and they die right after. So it's
exactly
such a
that's like
cycle.
Why is it in Animal Kingdom like the man, like there should be more like incels in Animal Kingdom and like men would live longer?
Well, no, the male and female fish die after they do their thing, which is really sad if you think about it. Your only purpose in life is to reproduce and die right after. You don't even get to see your children grow up. That's so sad. Can you imagine that? Just like, oh, I would never want to have a child. If I was a fish, I'd be like, nope, fuck that noise. I'm going to just keep on swimming. What? We're going to die after we mate? I'd rather just friggin' live a virgin. Fuck that.
I completely agree with Out of Print here. Hit the off button. Once you start nearing the 4-hour mark, it's time to call it.
Talking about fish mating. Yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah. We're definitely, the comments in this, no one's going to get to the end. That's going to be great. All right, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Hold on. You put on a unicorn beanie, almost a brony. I put on, well, I mean, like, I was at the store and it was funny and fuck off. But anyway, 15. End it. Thank you, Command Unit. I'm gonna take your advice. And thank you for the shekels. All right, everybody. This has been Hollywood After Dark, a wild episode of Hollywood After Dark. And thank you, everyone, to come on in. Shaggy, Ryan, Ty, always a great time. And we'll be back on tomorrow night for literally whatever the hell else happens in Hollywood. Have a great day, everybody, and peace out.